Hello, baby. Hello, nasty. Hello there. Hello. I say hello. Hello, friend. Well, hello, little girl. Hello, my treacherous friends. Hello, operator. The beginning of everything. Welcome back, my friends. It's showtime.
Hey, everybody. It's the Brink of Sanity episode 230. And we have comedian Dustin Hanson back on the show. How you doing, Dustin?
What's up? How's it going?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Show
We
is
started it.
on fire.
How's that for
did
an
it.
opening?
Do you guys think do you like guys like the word ta-da? Do you think it's like if people
I
like
think it's,
what do you think about the word ta-da?
if someone says ta-da and they're a guy, there's like it increases the chances in my head that they're gay by like 5,000%.
Okay, so
That's what
Mike,
I think.
Are we talking about in like a not a magical context?
Yeah, because I don't see.
I don't
tell you where
mind it
comes up.
if you came over to me and you pulled a rabbit out of a hat, I would find tada acceptable. But if you came over with like a 6-pack, I wouldn't find it as cute.
Or maybe
Has there ever been like a guy who fixed up an engine in like a big ring and went ta-da? Like,
Yeah.
that'd be
if
weird.
I came up to you with like treats, I was like, Jay, I got a handle of whiskey, ta-da! You'd be like, okay.
All right. I mean, yeah, I don't think I would mind it, but it would.
I'll
It
put
would
it in
put me
context.
on my back foot.
I'll put it in context. I have 2 kids. My son's like 4.5. My daughter, it will be 2 in March. And my daughter now has started, when she does things, like when she climbs up on something, she puts her hands in the air and goes, ta-da! Or she puts a Lego together, she goes, ta-da! It's very cute when she does it, not cute when I do it.
Are you ranting about your 2-year-old daughter saying tada?
No, I think it's cute as
We got a
anything.
minute into the show and Mark's already talking about his kids.
Goddamn kids, motherfucker.
It's the greatest thing ever, though. Totally do it.
We think it's the cutest thing ever, but should we just let her go with it for life? Like maybe like she'll be like in school, she'll be like, finish the math exam, ta-da! And people are like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Well, I don't have kids, but what I've learned about my friends who have kids is if you tell a 2-year-old not to do something, all she's going to say is tada.
We also think it's so cute that I'm almost encouraging the behavior. Like I'm always like, you're gonna say ta-da? She's like, ta-da.
You just have to ignore it till it goes away.
Yeah, everything's a fad.
Just don't talk to her for like a week and then see
Don't
what she
talk to
says.
her for a week.
Yeah, just give her the cold shoulder.
People don't do that enough with kids.
Yeah, because then she'll probably come up with a new way to amuse herself.
Every time she says tada, storm out of the room and slam the door.
Do you think if I started taking up ta-da as an adult, that people would be like at work, I'm like, got the project done, ta-da.
I could see that. I could actually see that. I think if she says ta-da after putting Legos together, you should one up her and be like, ta-da, I pay the taxes.
Here, I made you breakfast, ta-da. You get to eat
Ta-da.
this with me.
You put 2 Legos together, I built a motherfucking car.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not getting kicked out of our house this month because I paid the bills, ta-da.
I think ta-da has legs. Now I'm seeing it work.
You
In
put
action.
Legos together? I raised you for the last 2 years, ta-da.
I put you together, motherfucker.
You're not dead, ta-da.
Yeah, so long story short, yeah, you could probably take that to your boss.
Yeah. I mean, I'll start using
Whatever.
it as an adult.
I'm going to try that tomorrow. I got moved to a new position at work, so I'm just going to, I'm working with new people now, so I'm going to start it.
You could start a
like-
trend.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, what do you think of the new guy? You know the ta-da guy? What do you mean the ta-da guy? Oh, I guess you haven't met him yet.
Give him something to do.
Just
you'll
have
see.
him do something for you and have him succeed at it. See what he says.
But it's not even like, it's not like he does like a project well and everything. It's like he sharpened my pencil and said ta-da. What the hell? Hey, if I drop something and you pick it up, it's not like you didn't perform a magic trick. Beating gravity is not magic. Ta-da.
Well, this got off the rails pretty quick.
Yeah, what were we talking about at the beginning? Oh, yeah, Mark's daughter. Just don't talk to her.
Yeah.
It's over.
For the cold shoulder. Screw her.
Are you already ignoring your son, or?
No, you can't ignore them. They if you ignore them, they'll drive you crazy. If you don't ignore them, they'll drive you crazy. It doesn't really matter.
But it's the greatest
the
thing
choice.
ever, so you totally recommend doing it.
You know what's driving me insane? So I don't know if this is something I should rant about on the show. And as you guys both don't have kids, you'll completely relate to it.
Well, I have a cat, and it's almost like the same thing, right?
Almost the exact same thing.
Yeah.
The exact same thing.
I've got a dude that sleeps on my futon like a lot. So yeah, I'll probably get this.
Okay, cool. So this is like as someone would say, a first world problem. But we have an issue with our nanny, which I'm sure you guys are really excited to hear about.
Yeah, I mean, I have so much money. I have nannies. I don't even have kids.
How do you keep track of all these nannies? I have like 8 of them.
Yeah, I have a nanny just to wash my balls.
I got a nanny to wash the other nannies because they all get dirty.
In my dreams.
Oh.
I assume the guy that sleeps on your couch has a nanny. You have a nanny for him. Make sure you roll on the couch.
We take turns, really.
Okay.
You know, we got to change him.
Is it weird when you bathe him?
It's not. It was. It's not anymore though. We're used to it.
Sponge bath Sundays.
It's cool when he does a bubble bath because then you don't have to see his junk.
Don't have to, but then you're missing out, buddy.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so this sounds. I can't believe I've gotten to the place in my life where we actually have a nanny because it does sound like a complete asshole.
Yeah, you already lost me at nanny. Really.
Yeah, but like we both work and we both work hours where we can't do daycare, so we had to basically get a nanny.
Right.
And we've had one for a couple of years, and we moved to Long Island recently, and we loved our original nanny.
Wait, let me guess. The nanny's not getting along with your butler.
Yes. Yeah. So the nanny and my airplane pilot, whatever they're called, doesn't. So here's.
Pilot.
Yeah, pilot. I don't know why I said airplane pilot, as if it would have been something else. My refrigerator pilot.
My boat pilot.
Yes, my submarine pilot. You guys don't have your own submarine?
The chef that cooks my food, whatever he's called. I don't know what you call that chef.
It does sound like a complete asshole when I even talk about a nanny, because it does sound like I'm like, oh, you guys don't have staff? So it sounds like a complete asshole. And whatever it is, we're in the situation where we have someone. And we had someone originally start with us when we moved. And the person, I'm not going to get too much into this person, but they weren't very reliable. They showed up late almost all the time. And they had a bit of an attitude. At one point, I'd asked them to come in early. The woman literally said, "Oh, God, fine, I'll make it."
Didn't this start like on New Year's?
This started before then.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, I couldn't imagine being at work and my boss being like, "Could you do this?" And be like me going, "Oh God," and me having a job the next day. We were like, "What the fuck?" And so we have to find someone new. And so anyway, we found someone new. We were really happy with this person. And so the person was going to start this week, and I had to fire the old person. Mm-hmm. Dreading the firing part. Dustin, have you ever fired someone?
No, but I want to. Doesn't that sound like an experience you have to have at some point in your life? Just be like, you could do so many things with it. You could set it up as a prank, like have a bucket fall on their head, but then it's just like a bunch of notes that say you're fired.
Let's do a segue. Let's
train your daughter to be like, "You're fired, ta-da!"
You're fired, ta-da! Let's get Dustin his dream. Dustin, I'm your submarine pilot.
All right.
You could fire me. Okay, Dustin. The submarine is parked out in the ocean.
Ooh.
Anything else for the night?
I told you about parking it in the middle of the ocean. The thing about that is we got to swim to it, and that's you've been doing that a lot, and I keep saying don't do that. So I'm gonna have to tell you something. You're fired.
Oh, well, that's okay. I mean, it's okay. I know have cancer, and my kids have cancer, and so I can't support them all. And I guess they'll just all die since we can't afford medical care.
That's okay.
Anymore.
They've moved into the submarine. They're gonna be fine.
Oh, submarines cure cancer now.
Yeah,
okay.
Submarines cure cancer, and none of this is a lie. But you gotta go.
Are you saying I get to keep the submarine?
No.
Oh,
actually, yeah. Who wants a fucking submarine?
Oh, okay. I guess I'll sell the submarine.
Yeah, you're good to go, man.
I think they might.
That was an easier firing than I think you're gonna have to deal with.
You're fired, but you
can keep the submarine. That's like if you fired your nanny and be like, "You get to keep the house, though."
Yeah, pretty much. A submarine's probably $100 million. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good deal. You could go, but if you could sell this to the Russians, you'll be rich. So this is not where my rant really goes off yet. But anyhow, I had to call this woman. I did let her go. I felt really, even though I didn't like her as a person or a human being, I felt terrible at firing her. Got rid of her. We started.
Well, how'd you do it though?
You want to be her?
Okay.
Hi, nanny person. I'm not going to name. We're really sorry, but we feel like we need someone more reliable. This is not working out, and we're going to find someone. And we decide we need someone else.
Dios mío.
That's exactly what she said.
Crying sounds the same in Spanish.
I think she kept saying she was just shocked, even though we thought she hated the job.
She was shocked?
Yeah, she was just like, "Oh my god, really, really." She was just like very like surprised, and then so we fired her, and I didn't say anything about her attitude because I didn't want to have a debate about her attitude. I just said she was late a ton, and we had talked to her about it already. So I just told her she was unreliable. We need someone more reliable, and she'd been out a bunch of times also. So
yeah.
So anyhow, I guess she understood, but then she asked, could we provide her a reference? And I feel like if you work for a job for 4 months and you get fired, you want to pretend that job didn't happen, not tell other people to call your old boss.
She was there for 4 months?
4 months.
Wow, I thought this was like a new, like 1 month thing.
No, we had her since like September.
Yeah.
Isn't nanny turnover pretty high though?
I don't know. I don't keep statistics on these things, but if I should have...
Well, maybe if you did, you would have been more prepared.
We would have been the first person we hired was great. But this one, so what were we talking about?
You were right in the middle of your nanny story.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
know. How did you forget about the thing that you were already talking about?
Yeah, because I am brain dead. I have kids. Kids equal brain dead. If you have if your brain functions, you're not really an attentive father. So just on a side note, if you got fired from a job after 4 months, would you ask for a reference?
No, I wouldn't.
No, definitely not.
I feel like, especially a nanny, we interview a bunch of nannies who would just have randomly odd breaks of oh, I just stopped working 6 months ago, haven't done anything since. They wouldn't explain their gaps. Wouldn't you just say I couldn't find a job in the last 4 months? Not have people reach out to us and have us tell them, oh yeah, that you could hire that person we felt was unreliable and had to fire after 4 months. You should go for that.
Yeah, but did you get a reference to hire her when you hired?
Yeah. When you get a nanny, you have to get references. The references have to be really good. And this actually was referred through a family friend, so it was.
So she strong armed this person with her. She got fired for her attitude on the last person, and then she's like, "Well, are you gonna give me a reference or what?" And then they're like, "All right, fine. I just don't want to talk to you about your attitude." How she moves through life is just by being really, really snippy, and then making sure people don't deal with it.
Well, she didn't even want just a reference. She wanted a reference letter, and my wife was like, "Yeah." My wife was like, "Forget it. I'll just write something very She's like, I'm not gonna write anything negative. I'll just write something very
vague.
She existed for 4 months around our children, and that didn't cause any legal action to be taken.
Yep, she sure was a nanny.
She certainly did things.
She did nanny type things.
I can't say it was all her doing, but throughout the entire 4 months, none of my kids were molested. Anyway, I recommend highly.
On a scale of 1 to 10, she's definitely in that range.
She molested them so little that I was hoping that she would kick up the molestation a little bit, just to balance it out.
I could say every day I left for work, they were alive. I returned from home, they were alive. So they may have died in the middle of the day, but they were alive both parts of the day that mattered most to me.
So we're going to go ahead and agree that she's good at resurrection, which is going to be a real asset to you, whoever you are.
Because kids die a lot.
They do. They probably run into table corners and bust their head open all the time.
All the time. They are the dumbest people ever. I mean, it's like their brains aren't fully developed. On my watch, my kids have run into things and I go to the hospital. Twice on my watch. And my daughter may have a scar for life on her forehead because of my watch. To be honest, she propelled herself at on the day before Mother's Day. I'm watching the kids. My daughter propels herself into this corner of a metal slide. Her head blew up like it was you basically it was like a grapefruit was on her head. I scared out of my mind. She's now ends up basically a tiny little scar on her forehead. And I was like, "Happy Mother's Day! Ta-da! Your kid might be brain dead." So that's it. But
how do you deal with that kind of pressure on a day-to-day basis? Because they're basically, it's like they took some sort of like suicide pact subconsciously, and they're just trying to be like, when he's not looking, we're gonna do this. All right.
Well, it's weird thing is like when they're really young, when they're first born, they want to kill themselves. They're just not capable of doing it, but they'll keep trying to off themselves. Then they go through the period of like developing the ability to walk and like run, and then they're out just like to recklessly destroy themselves. And but they also have the ability to not do it. Also, they can actually.
That's how they trick you into thinking that you can like kind of be more hands off, and then they immediately grab the most dangerous thing and just stick it into their bodies.
Oh well, my daughter will do the best. My son can do stuff now. He's 4. He can climb a lot better. My daughter will try to do everything that like he can do, which is like he's twice as old as her basically, so he can't do stuff at his level. But she'll go to the playground, start climbing up stuff, and she'll impress you. Be like, oh my god, she made it up there. Oh my god, she made it up there. Oh my god, she just fell. God damn it.
So she's good at just getting to the highest point possible.
Or she's just good at basically fooling you. So she'll do it once, do it twice, and the third time she'll fall. Just randomly.
It just sounds like gravity is the biggest obstacle to kids' survival.
Yeah, gravity and just
gravity.
They run into things all the time. It's yeah.
Inertia.
When they slip and they fall, they're absolute klutzes.
Just general physics just is out to get them.
Yeah, and all the time. But the other day, I'm driving with them, and like they also like you get freaked out as a parent so much. I'm glad we're going right into parents. Everyone probably listening has kids. I'm sure you guys can relate. This is
that's our target demographic. Yeah,
target demographic.
Parents with nannies.
I'm kind of curious.
I was driving along with them, going to my cousins. They're like an hour away. I'm driving, and we just moved on. Usually, when they're a lot younger, the car seats face backwards. We just switched my daughter around forward. I could see her throughout the ride. And she was slumped over, and I like the seatbelt was kind of tight on her, like the little like car seat thing. And I was like, I'm driving. I'm like, is she dead? And you're like, well, no, she's not dead. She's asleep. She just like looks funny because she's passed out. But you're driving, and you become obsessed with this because you're like, I can't believe. I'm like, maybe I made it too tight. Maybe she's dead. And I'm like, trying to look back and trying to look back. And as I'm like trying to look back, basically, I'm like almost veering into traffic and killing us, trying to find out if she's dead. And eventually I had to pull over to double check to make sure she was sleeping. And I was like, I had my son like go, grab her feet, see if she can get her to move, try to get her to move. And she's not moving.
Well, that's what you get for not having a chauffeur.
Yes. Yeah.
But you had to fire for being late.
Yes. Where is my pilot?
Your car pilot.
So tell me if you'd be concerned though. So here's where I am now with Danny. We had someone new start.
Holy shit, this is the same story. Fuck.
Same fucking story. This is where I was going to be. This is where I am. This is why I'm even talking about this because I'm obsessed with this right now.
So we're at the beginning of the story now.
We're back to the beginning.
Okay. Yeah, it's like this is Star Wars Part 4, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So basically, Monday, she first day's gonna come. She tells us she was away in her home country, Trinidad, and I don't know why I was going to not say her home country, but anyway, she
couldn't even point that out on a map.
Yeah,
it's an island.
It's near Tobago, right?
Yeah, they're like
I believe
they're like
twins. they're like anytime we have a buddy check, they hold both Tobago, Trinidad, buddy check.
Don't know where Tobago is either. I just know they're both.
It's somewhere. Not Syria, so just I don't have a nanny from Syria. I'm not
You're not part of the problem, dude.
Yeah. So red states, leave me alone. Anyway, so she's her son got sick, and she had to come in. She had to give a note to the school or something like that. She had to show up basically an hour and a half late on her first day of work. You concerned yet?
Yeah.
Okay. Day 2, and we work full time. We need to go to work. Day 2 shows up. Not an issue. No. Oh, no, sorry. Day 2, no. Day 2, flat tire, ends up having more car issues, doesn't show up day 2. Kind of concerned, but we really like this person. Day 3, she shows up, not a problem. Day 4, wife leaves for work, she leaves before me, I'm with the kids, waiting for the nanny, get a text, I'm not going to be here today and tomorrow. My son is sick, I'm going to be out 3 days of my first full week of work.
That's paddling.
Yeah, that's where I am as far as just being like, God, fucking.
Surprised you haven't killed her at this point.
Well, if she shows up, I can kill her. But until she shows up, I can't be like, I'm really sorry. I have to Fire me? No, murder you. I have to murder you. Actually, this is how this thing ends now.
You can't text like when you're supposed to be there.
Yeah,
I love how just the audacity of like, hey, I know I'm supposed to be there right now, but I can't be there now, and I got a feeling I'm gonna be sick tomorrow, so not tomorrow either.
Oh, it was her son, but yeah.
Oh yeah, her son. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, she said she'll be here on Monday. We don't necessarily believe her.
Yeah, that seems very like. Did you pay? You didn't pay her for all the time that she was gone, right?
We would pay her. You pay her like weekly. So you pay her on Friday, so she hasn't been here. So I'm like, I'm not sure we would even pay her. Like, do we pay her a week's salary when she's been here for 2 days and barely started? I don't think. Yeah, we weren't going to pay her.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
don't know how that goes.
You got to accrue sick days.
Yeah, I don't think you.
That's right.
Do you accrue 6 days? Do you accrue sick days on the first day you get to work?
No.
Yeah, you start, but or maybe there's like a probationary period.
And it's also like, you never know, like the person could have, like there could be 1 week they have an issue the entire year, and it just happens to be the first week they showed up to work.
Could be.
It could be.
But it's not a great sign.
No.
We've basically now been scrambling all day because like I was like, oh, that meeting I was supposed to have tomorrow, can't do that meeting. That this basically had to like take off work, and we're scrambling to like interview new people. But kind of that's my story doesn't really go anywhere from there. Just nanny issues, which everyone I'm sure could relate to.
Yeah,
and I sound like a jackass talking about my staff.
We fit that story in just under 20 minutes. That was good.
Oh my God! Sorry, everybody's lives. I had a neighbor. Who could not get work. He lives in my building. He couldn't get work for like 6 months since he moved in, and you could tell because he just continuously got shittier as a person. Like his shoes were at like holes in them by the end of the time, and he had barely clothes. And like it was looking worse and worse as time went on, and we're like, "Fuck, is he gonna be?" I guess it's gonna take a while to kick him out, but like he's not doing very well. Like I'm pretty sure he stole some of my food, so like because he's got access to where we live, and so that's like it started to get really shitty. And then
wait, you just like blew past how your unemployed neighbor has access to your refrigerator.
He does. It's a brownstone. It's like a giant. There's a staircase in the middle. I live in a brownstone, so like
no, I know what a brownstone is. Why do you, Jay? That was a good catch, Jay. You share a refrigerator with an almost homeless guy?
I don't share the refrigerator with him. He just has access to it. Like he shouldn't go in there. But
so he could literally walk into your room right now and stab you?
Yeah, but he's not that kind of dude. He's more of a just a regular old loser. So
he's more of a regular guy, holes in their shoes, doesn't really work.
Yeah, but like no, he's doing fine now. Just I want to preface it with that.
Dustin, I ate your ham sandwich. Ta-da!
So your daughter's living in the basement, right? So she's putting together Legos, but it's not making any money.
Wait. Do you guys not have doors? I don't understand this situation. You guys don't have doors?
There's like a main area, and then there's doors to like there's a door to the main area from my room, which I keep locked. So he actually couldn't. He could come in here right now because I don't have it locked, I suppose. But like during the day, we keep most of the shit locked. Sometimes we keep it unlocked because it's not. We keep the outside door locked, but like this dude could have access to like the neighbors below us, and then like the second level dudes, and like we're the third level people. And there's a big stairwell that goes through the whole thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but isn't there usually a door into each level?
So each level...
Not in this complex.
So you live in a dorm room, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Kind of like a giant frat house, but like with adults.
Because I've seen places like that, but the staircase had doors to each level, so you could like lock the I guess you guys don't have that. That's weird.
Well, like the laundry's in the basement too, and everybody uses the laundry.
Well, that's typical in like every building in New York City. But so just understand. So you have a room there, and everyone uses everything else is shared. Like the kitchen, the living room is all shared.
Our living room is shared between us. We have 3 people living on the top floor, right? This 4th dude moved in the basement because our landlord's like, well, you kind of know, like he subletted for like a bit because when we were switching roommates, and then he's the landlord's like, you still want to live here? And the guy's like, yeah. And then the landlord's like, well, we'll give you some money off of rent if you let him live in the basement, but there's no shower in the basement, so he's got to use your shower. And we're like, well, we lived with him for like a month. He's probably okay. He doesn't talk much, but whatever. And so then this shit happens where
Can I interrupt you 1 second? Jay,
Yeah.
What's been easier to follow? My nanny story or trying to figure out his arrangement?
I've been confused since this episode started.
Yeah, I can't follow your living situation at all. I don't know
dude,
where the hell you
that's
live.
none of this shit's important.
Wait,
But we want to spend all our time on the details that don't matter. That's what.
Dude, I can read the lease to you or whatever, but I don't think it's gonna make a good podcast.
We're at 3 or 4 to now.
I'm just picturing this guy trudging up 3 flights of stairs in his
For a sandwich.
in his sandals to take a shower. He's got his little rubber ducky and towel, like climbing up 3 flights of stairs to take a bath.
So
Or
he's
just,
the guy
maybe
who.
does he go sans robe? He's like, listen, I'm just gonna walk. What's the difference? Why we're all adults? Why can't I walk naked? We're indoors.
He might actually. I don't know. I wouldn't put it past him if he did that. He's the guy who's weird enough to live in this situation.
I
and
will
be
get a
okay with
robe when I get a job. Now leave me alone.
it. All of his clothes finally dissolved off of his body from just too much wear. And he's been showering, which is thank God. But like, no, the point of the story was.
Wait, I want to understand. Hang on. The kitchen thing. Do you guys have it? Is there a kitchen on each floor?
Yeah, there's a kitchen on each floor. There's a bathroom on
Oh.
each.
So
Okay,
this
so
guy
I
can
have a
just
shower.
like this
So
guy
his
can
basement
clean up.
has nothing basically. He
His
lives
basement's
downstairs.
got where he lives, another room where he's got 2 rooms where he lives, and then like a bathroom with no shower.
Okay, so does he comes up to your bathroom to use your shower and to use your
Yeah.
kitchen?
Yeah, I guess so, but I don't know if that was the agreement.
Does
but he
anyone
just-
steal each other's food? Do you have to put your name on stuff? Like
No, I
that's
don't
my
put my name-
broccoli.
Nobody steals food. One time I think he stole one of my Cliff Bars, but I think that's because he was like really desperate. I have like a box of Cliff Bars I get from like Trader Joe's because I like fucking snacks. So
I can't
I
get a
put
fucking
that-
job. My shoes have holes in them. I'm still in the fucking Cliff Bar today. And if Dustin has a problem with it, I'm gonna fucking murder him.
that was probably I imagine that might have been. Here's the thing. Also, like he's super like introverted and weird. One time I came home to him in the living room and in front of our TV, but it was just static on the TV.
That's like
And
a
he
horror
was-
movie.
And he's just standing there, and I'm like, whoa! Like I thought I barged in on something, and he like got
Dustin.
surprised.
He's standing behind you right now. He's listening. To
I
the
can
podcast.
see myself on the thing. He's not unless he's a vampire and he doesn't show up in photos or whatever. Which might be right because he lives in a fucking basement. There's no windows down there.
I guess if you're a vampire, the penthouse versus the basement, you want the basement.
Yeah, you want the least amount of light possible.
Yeah.
So he's down there, and then like, okay, so then he got a job at like one of the factories nearby because I live next to like an industrial part of Brooklyn, and the first day he was supposed to show up, he overslept by like an hour and a half, and he went into work and they fired him like on the spot.
Oh Jesus!
That's what happened.
Well, that
So
just
like,
shows
he
that
didn't even
tolerant
have, he
Mark
didn't even have like nanny.
Didn't you say this story
with that.
worked out well?
It
He's
did
doing
eventually.
fine. He got fired the first day of work.
That was part of the shitty part of the story. Here now we're in. Bring it to present day. He's good. He's got
Are you
good
playing a
shit.
video game in the background?
No. Do you hear shit in the
Jay,
background?
do you hear that in the background?
It was just the truck passing. Calm down.
I'm just asking.
I don't. I hear like you can hear the like cars out there.
Yeah,
and
it was a
shit.
truck or a motorcycle or something.
And that's him out there. He's now the garbage man. He's doing everything out front. That is a
You know.
success. We can hear him in the background being successful.
That is
He's
the
paddling
second.
around.
That is the second weirdest bathroom story I've heard in New York City. This other guy we had on the show a few years ago, he had his shower in the living room, or no, it was in the kitchen.
It was in
Yeah.
the kitchen. It was basically.
Oh yeah, you're like best friends with this guy.
Yeah. I was at his wedding. Good guy. So he doesn't live there anymore, but it was a rent-controlled place where when you wanted to take a shower, the shower in the kitchen and everything's like in the same room. So you have to cover the TV with a tarp so the TV doesn't get wet while you're showering.
That's pretty fucked up. Although I
Yeah.
could see getting used to that, and then you'd get used to it, and then you'd bring people over, and they'd be like, "What the fuck is that?" And then you'd
Yeah.
have to explain every time. That's probably the worst part about living there is just the explanations.
Or
Yeah.
just being like, every time you tell someone about that, they're like, okay, can I see your apartment? And then you're like, oh, this is a great way to get girls back to my apartment. I just tell them about it. They're like, holy shit, you live real. Let me go back and see the place.
It's in Manhattan, right? It's like
it's Manhattan. Yeah.
So that's already like kind of, if you live in Manhattan, you're already somewhat of a pussy magnet. You don't have to bring girls back to like I have to bring a girl.
How it works? Like you go around and be like, I'm from Manhattan.
I'm from Manhattan, and then you put on a monocle and a top hat, and you pass going for $200.
I'm from Manhattan. I have a nanny. Would you like to come back and have sex with me and my nanny?
That's that. If you did that, you could do that. If you said that.
If I could say that in public, that would be pretty tough.
How far into Brooklyn are you? Like, if you meet a girl at a bar in Manhattan, you're like, "Hey, you want to take a subway ride for 57 minutes and then make out?"
Yeah, no, a subway ride would easily kill the deal. It would be over because you can't do anything on a subway ride except for realize how shitty your life is.
Yeah.
That's exactly that's what it's for. You travel slower than the speed of cars to get. It's like I always have to have money. If I'm out to get laid, I have to put away a certain amount of money for a cab, because in a cab you can make out in the back of the cab, or you can whatever, I guess, look out the window and it's beautiful. But like, you don't have to.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's no basement, but it's like. But if you're on a subway, like, she's gonna get off at the next stop and be like, "This is fucking retarded. There's a homeless guy taking a shit at the end of this cab."
How do you pitch it to the girls? Also, you're like, "Hey, baby, you want to come back to my place? You ever been to Coney Island? Oh yeah, that'd be cool to go to. How about Coney Island tonight?
Tonight, after the rides are shut down, and there's there's streetwalkers.
You want to come back? You want to come back to my place and take an hour-and-a-half cab ride to Coney Island? I've saved up some money.
Even if you can get her turned, yeah. I'm in Sunset Park, which is before Coney Island. It's right outside of. It's like Prospect Park, but like a little bit farther. It's like a step outside of Prospect Park.
Oh Jesus!
So like it's a. I'm gonna be generous. It's a 30-minute cab ride. It's a half an hour.
Now I see why you're Skyping in tonight. That's a trek to get over here.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
So have you had the situation where you're at a bar, things are going well with a girl, you try to bring her back to your place, and she's like, "Yeah," and you're like, "Brooklyn." She's like, "That's okay. I'll just go with this fat dude from Manhattan."
No, I haven't even gotten that far. Because, like, the last time I was on New Year's, I was being a wingman for my buddy who was having such a bad time at the party. He's like, because he wanted to get laid. And I'm like, I already have a girlfriend, so I don't care. I just want to get drunk because she's working. And so we went to this fucking Iowa-themed bar in Midtown, which is baffling because how would you theme a bar after Iowa? Anyway, that existed.
What is the Iowa? Where is it? What place?
I wish I could. Dude, I was wasted. I wish I could tell you. If I did a little research.
Are there like corn everywhere, or
they've got like Iowa football flags up and like Iowa football games that they're playing that it's obviously not on New Year's. They just taped it and they're like, "How about Iowa, guys?" And there were people there because it was a bar, not because they liked Iowa.
There's a lot of bars for like different cities. Sports teams. I mean, Iowa's a little random. I'd expect Boston and LA and stuff, but
yeah,
there's a lot of bars like that.
My buddy who had the bathroom in the the shower by the TV in the kitchen, he went to school in Missouri, and one day he was like, "Hey, come meet me. We're gonna watch a Missouri basketball game in this place like 10 blocks from you." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, who's gonna be at this Missouri bar? I get there, it is over the fire code by 1,000 people. Packed. I was like, these might be.
I just love to assume that they're all into Missouri so bad. They're just like, "Love Missouri!" Like,
oh
everybody.
My God. I got there, like, I feel like you also get there, and like it was kind of like a where it was the bar. You kind of thought like it was like empty when you go in, but you go upstairs and suddenly like you can't even move, and you're like, "Holy shit!" People like Missouri around here.
I can't. Like, it's packed like a fucking club. People are bumping and grinding to Missouri.
Actually,
I assume like banjo music's playing on the loudspeaker.
No. Well, they had the football game playing on the loudspeaker, and actually, also the level of attractiveness for the girls. I was like, "Fuck, I'm in the Missouri tonight."
I miss living in the city. I used to live in Stuytown, and so I would go on a date, and I would start the date like around like 4th or 5th Street, and we'd slowly bar hop uptown. I lived right on 14th Street, so by the last stop,
awesome.
we'd be at a bar on like 13th Street. So we'd leave the bar and like we're literally like at my apartment. I'm like, you go all the way home, or like my apartment's like across the street.
That's the thing. It's so perfect and convenient, and like you don't have to even get into a place that you don't want to be to transition to where you would like her to be. The fact that you are living around 14th Street already makes her half wet, and then all you got to do is be like, this way, please, and it's like you're done. I can't imagine.
Have you ever bar hopped using the subway?
Ugh.
We'll eventually get to Coney Island.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? You gonna come back to my place across the street, or pay for the airfare back to your place?
Bar hopping like the subway is like beating Mario Brothers on hard. Like you gotta fucking cross all the giant ocean and then like fight against the Brooklyn hipsters on 5th Street and Prospect Park, and then finally like weave your way around like homeless bosses and make your way up to an apartment, and then it's like it's another castle.
And then there's a random guy in flip-flops going through your fridge when you get home.
Yeah, and then with the TV on, with just the fucking static on TV and silence.
She just walks into like The Grudge.
That's the unbeatable boss. That's the RPG boss where it's a random encounter and you know you're fucked when you hit this guy.
How much time do you spend how much time do you spend with this introvert basement person?
Every once in a while he'll pop up when we're like drinking in the living room and just.
Will he drink with you, or will he just go just stare at you a little bit and then walk away?
He'll have a beer and he'll talk, but it's so weird. It's like he's on another planet. He likes to talk about. He's really well read, so he talks about like authors and chess and shit. I don't know my roommate.
Hey, Dustin, what do you guys think about the whole Shakespeare guy? He wrote some sonnets.
That's like a guy who's pretending to be well-read. This guy's all like, well, I think Nabokov actually had the more, and he actually talks, that's his actual voice. Like,
Jay,
I just gave you a good impression of him.
True or false? Nabokov is really a writer.
True.
I have no idea. Is it true or false?
I'm gonna have to Google it because I'm not actually that confident myself, but it just sounded right. I'm gonna say true as well.
I would have gone with true also, but where's that guy? Jay, is that guy there around?
See if the comments call bullshit on that. Maybe somebody's just like, no, dude, it's fucking Dostoevsky, bitch.
Chekhov, asshole. I knew
diehard fans of books like they're sports fans is a fucking silly thing to be, but I guess there's a few of them.
I did know someone who used to like. I remember her saying something along the lines of like, I can't read anything modern like compared to like Russian literature. Nothing like all the stuff today is just crap, and I'm like, yeah, I couldn't understand any of that stuff. That's why I'd rather read something today. Like all the stuff is like in a different language, even though it's English.
That's like a book hipster.
Yeah,
a bookster.
My friend's girlfriend won't watch any movies that were made pre-2000.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say post-2000, pre-2000.
Yeah,
that just sounds
really
ironic.
Yeah, he like tried to put on something classic like Back to the Future or something, and she's like, "This is old. I won't watch it."
She doesn't sound great.
No,
she doesn't sound too good, man.
Yeah, I was thinking she would probably be single pretty quick if that was my girlfriend.
Yeah, I mean, I understand if someone was like, I don't love when they have subtitles because I'm a moron, but
right.
But like I at least I'll say that I was like, subtitles. I'll just skip it. I'm sure it's a great movie, but I can also just read a book. I want something better experience, I guess. But pre-2000 sounds where do you go from there?
There's so many good movies pre-2000. Like if I had to choose post or pre-2000, I would just go with pre-2000.
Absolutely, yeah.
Jay, I don't watch a movie before 2000. I don't listen to music if it's not by Drake.
Not Peter's Woman. We have a question on Twitter. Brink of Sanity 3 is our Twitter. If you had to get $500,000 together in 7 days, how would you do it?
Oh shit! I can't get $500,000 in 7 days.
This would have to involve a heist.
Well,
yeah,
it wouldn't involve anything that was on the up and up because you'd already be doing it. If you're like, oh, oh, I'll just work harder at work and they'll give me $500,000, then you'd just be doing it already.
Yeah, like if I knew how to get $500,000 in 7 days, I would have done it like 1,000 times by now.
Can you imagine the shittiest Ocean's 11 we could put together with like all our podcast hosts and basement bums and
we would do something really dumb, like we would take Dustin hostage and we would like wait, $500,000, hello. We have to negotiate that.
Who would you even call?
Right.
So we just
all
get
the other
camp there
shitty
to send it
comics
back
I
to
hang out with?
Sunset.
That could be we would put on like a comedy show and like 3 people would show up. We're like, well, I guess the cover is $175,000 each.
There you go. I actually read an article where this lady went on a date with that guy who that hiked up all those AIDS drugs or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like thinking maybe, all right, so like how fast could she marry him and divorce him in 7 days?
I don't think a divorce of a week-long marriage entitles you to half the person's stuff.
I don't know, but like that's another way to. She's like, oh, I had a really great time. It's like, no shit. He probably bought you everything, and you went to like the best things.
Yeah.
Like you'd be surprised. He's not that much of an asshole. Yeah, anybody could be not an asshole for a fucking night.
Especially when they're trying to fuck you, you know?
Yeah, and like during the night, he like gave me as many AIDS drugs as I wanted.
He doesn't. I can't imagine he opens the date with like, by the way, I don't really care if people get AIDS. Like he just probably starts with like, do you like $1,000 champagne?
I used to be friends with the biggest sociopath, and he could be so charming for one night just because he wants to get laid. You know.
Oh yeah.
Night 2, the real him comes out, but he can turn that off.
Did he try to get laid with you?
No.
It sounded like
night
it sounded
2.
like
I mean,
Jay's
it
like-
was a beautiful evening, but
he's like I'm not gay, but like he was very charming. And I was like, okay, you can put it in there. And the next day he was like, didn't even want to cuddle.
Well, no, I mean, you can tell because like he gets laid a lot, but the girls never come back for like a second date. So either he's terrible in bed or they realize, oh, this guy's like a complete prick.
I bet he's a real selfish lover.
Or maybe when he comes, he says, ta-da! And I have to leave.
Bringing it back.
Made you come. Ta-da!
Back. That might be one of the worst things to say when you come.
I think throughout the show, we'll think of worse and worse situations where we could say the word ta-da.
Ta-da.
Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Dustin. We have your son being held hostage. $500,000. Ta-da! Cut off some body parts. Ta-da!
After an abortion.
What crime would you commit to get $500,000? Obviously, how would we break the
Bank
laws?
robbery. That's an easy one.
Do you think a bank has $500,000 laying around you could take?
Yeah, most banks are just computers now.
Right. You'd be like,
big computers.
give me $500,000. They're like, you could have a mainframe and you could try to hack it, but we don't have money to give you.
You'd have to do some sort of like tech hack thing. I guess for $500,000, what kind of crime? You can't really make $500,000 by killing anyone, can you?
No,
Like
I think you would have to go to like one of those celebrity like dinner things.
And then kill everyone and take all their jewelry.
You would have to rob like each individual celebrity. You'd be there for like hours.
You'd just be like the best pickpocket in the world on the red carpet, just lifting all this shit from people's dresses.
I guess you could steal like a ferry. I don't know who you'd sell it to though.
Pirates, I guess.
Well, I'm trying to think of some $500,000. You couldn't steal a car.
How would you steal a
There
ferry?
are some $500,000 cars, but then you got to find a buyer.
Yeah, I
Well, I'm trying to figure out. Like, you're like, I'm gonna steal the Staten Island ferry.
I feel like a ferry would be easier to steal than a
Staten
car.
Island ferry's worth like $20. It's a piece of shit.
It'd be also like, I stole the ferry. I'm getting away at a very slow speed.
Well, I mean, I feel like a ferry, a conductor would not be expecting you to steal the ferry, so it'd probably be easier to steal than a car.
This would be the worst crime syndicate ever. Jay would come into the like, guys, I got a problem solved. I stole the ferry. I'm sorry, what?
Where did you even keep it? Like in the middle of the ocean, I guess.
You just drive it to
that
the other
shit.
side of the river. Literally the only other place.
You steal it by keeping it on Staten Island, and all the new everyone who's like an authority is like, I am going over there. That place sucks.
You drive it over Staten Island.
It's not stolen. You didn't steal it. It's just parked overnight. Park it every.
You drive to Staten Island, all the commuters just start walking on. You're like, no, I'm stealing this. I'm not going back to Manhattan.
This is mine now.
And those planes at JFK that aren't flying right now, I stole them too.
I think we'd all be dead if we had to get $500,000.
I don't think there's a good way. I think you'd go to the diamond district and steal a bunch of diamonds, and then you try to resell them, and they find out they're worth shit because diamonds are a waste of money.
Oh, you can seduce Derek Williams from the Knicks. Apparently, he has that much money laying around on his mantelpiece.
In jewelry, though.
That was a real story from last week. A Knicks player brought 2 girls home to his apartment and got $700,000 worth of jewelry stolen from his apartment because apparently he brings random people home and has that much laying around in a Gucci bag in the middle of his living room.
Do you think Bill Gates, who has like $75 billion, has that laying around? Like $500,000 is like, oh, I'm going out. I'll take $500,000 with me just in case guess they want to buy something.
No, because that's why Bill Gates is a billionaire and Derek Williams is going to be broke 2 years after he retires.
Okay.
I like to think that he does have that much laying around, or even more, but he never has any friends, so he never invites anybody over. Nobody knows.
If you had that much money, wouldn't you do funny things like have a Scrooge McDuck money pit?
I think. I think to get that much money, you can't be funny, or else you wouldn't have the money in the first place.
Yeah, because I would just be paying people to do stupid shit to each other all the time. Like I was actually talking to one of my comic friends. He's like, when I get rich, I'm going to we are obsessed with this restaurant Zaxby's. It's like this really shitty restaurant in the South, but we're like, we got to go there and get fucking because they only have Texas toast. So like he's like, when I get rich, you're not gonna know it, but you're gonna be out drinking or something one night, and then I'm gonna pay a prostitute to seduce you, and then right when you're about to sleep with her, she's gonna whisper Zaxby's in your ear and walk away, and then I'm gonna be like, Crow!
That's
gonna cost a lot of money to orchestrate all that shit.
Well, if I won the lotto, I wanted to start a reality show. How far would you go? And I would pay. You know, like, what would you do for a Klondike bar? It would be like that, but...
What would you do for a Klondike bar?
Right, it would be like that, but it would be terrible things. Like, I'd make people, like, chop off their fingers and, like, run face first into a brick wall. Like, just how much would they hurt themselves for money?
You know what I would do? I'd pay somebody $500,000 to steal the Staten Island ferry.
Tell me you wouldn't watch that show, though, if I'm like, run through the glass window of a Starbucks and I'll give you $5,000.
I'll give you $500,000, but you have to cut off your girlfriend's ear. Go.
I would watch the shit out of that show.
Damn. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I don't think you're also necessarily allowed to do that.
If they sign a waiver, you are.
I don't think waivers really can prevent you from going to jail.
What?
No, I don't think you can contract for illegal shit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure waivers don't. You can't like pay someone to mutilate themselves and stay out of prison.
It's illegal to chop off your own finger?
It's illegal to pay someone else to chop off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't pay you to chop off your own finger.
Really? Why not?
I don't know. Let's go test it out. Let's go to the police station. I'll give you some money and see what happens.
Is it illegal to chop off your own fingers?
No, I don't think that. But I think you're paying someone else to mutilate themselves.
Why wouldn't it be? I think it's like in the public interest to have everybody have their fingers.
What if I came to you? What if you're like, I'm out of money. I can't really meet the rent, and the landlord's like, I'll let you stay rent free if you cut off your foot.
Do I get to keep the foot? Or does he have to? Does he want to eat it in like a foot sandwich?
What if he like did things with the foot? You're like, he's like, I get the foot, and then I get to do things with it, and
then I get to film it.
Yes, I'm gonna put it on the internet, and I'm gonna make a whole blog devoted to.
If I get royalties from the foot internet thing, I'm in.
Okay.
Worst moment to say ta-da. Right after
shoving your foot up his ass.
No, right after an abortion.
Oh God. It's not good.
All right, we got an email.
It's Planned Parenthood. They're like, don't say that.
Let's see. thebrinkofsanity@gmail.com. Lorenzo writes, hey guys, when we moved into our current house, there was no gas connected or heating for cooking, so we paid to have it installed. We then waited for our first bill, which normally comes once a quarter, but nothing showed up. It has been more than a year now, and we are essentially getting our gas for free. Somehow we were off the grid. What would you do? Speak up to avoid a massive bill in the future, or say nothing and see how long we can go for?
I mean, if it was me, I would just keep going. I wouldn't say a damn thing.
Absolutely keep going.
Absolutely,
Hey,
just keep.
I'm
Because
back. Were you guys gonna? What are you guys talking?
Were you
You're
gone?
just saying keep going with the show without me. I know.
Oh, that's no. We were like, we gotta keep going. This guy's installed gas into. Is he renting? So the gas bill must be like falling on his landlord or something.
He said he
Is that-
moved into his current house, so I'm thinking he owns it.
Wait, what am I missing? What happened?
I didn't even know you left.
Yeah,
Oh.
you didn't see anything, and we can't see you.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
why
turned
can't you
your
say
camera off and then didn't announce you were leaving.
Well, I didn't announce I was leaving because my internet went out for like a half a second.
Oh,
Oh,
we
that's
read
what- okay.
Lorenzo's email. He moved into a new house, and he's not getting his gas bill, so he thinks he's off the grid. So he said, what would he do? Speak up to avoid a massive bill in the future, or say nothing and see how long they could go for?
The only way that his gas has not been turned off for a year, so that means
for a year.
Yeah.
So that means they think they're getting paid. That means they're billing somebody else, I think, for his gas, and they're just paying it.
I would not say a thing.
no,
I would damn thing.
maybe
There's no way I would. Yeah.
maybe put aside a few bucks just in case you got a big bill, but I would say definitely do not say anything.
Listen, sir, from gas company, I had no idea you had to pay for this kind of thing. I mean, who would think you had to pay for gas? God, I produced that from my butt. Come on.
And it smells terrible. Stop
Yes.
pumping it into my house. I would just make a big forgive the pun. I would just make a big stink about it. Like I would just if they billed you all of a sudden they're like you owe us like I don't know $1,000 or whatever it is. You could just be like, I didn't sign up for this and I didn't even know this was gonna be like this.
Yeah.
You could just play stupid and then just contest it.
Exactly.
Like I don't even think utilities go on your credit report if I'm recalling that right.
Yeah,
I'm
don't
a
think so
fucking.
either.
Don't listen to me. I'm a piece of shit. I don't fucking. I don't know why I said that. Like I fucking. How am I gonna give people advice over a podcast?
The guy on the podcast said, we can just not pay our utilities and they can't do anything about it. It's in
You
the
know,
Constitution.
Mod doesn't even go on a credit report. So let's just keep just turn it up. Let's just run the burners and try to get it as hot as we can in here.
Oh, you want to get a mortgage? Looks like you didn't pay your utility bill. You must have fallen for the stuff idiots on podcasts say.
Stu writes,
bad.
I'm sure you're aware of
Jay, is it the emails from last show or this show? Remember you missed them from last show?
Yeah, they're from last show.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Stu writes, I'm sure you're aware of the mindless drivel spoken on Facebook. What is the dumbest, goofiest post you have ever seen?
Oh, that's a good question because I see that shit all the time.
Damn, when I read this, I thought of one, and now that
I like the
shows
ones
up.
where it's clearly people trying to search the internet, but then you just get a public display of what they were searching for. Like I like that. Somebody just posted like somebody else's name, like they want to check somebody else out, and then they just have their name up. Like that's kind of embarrassing.
I'm always afraid I'm going to do that.
There's like it's not that embarrassing. I think the most embarrassing thing, at least in my community of comics, is like when you have like two comics get in a shit fit or a spat, and then it just you get like a peanut gallery.
Mhm.
Like that's like the most embarrassing thing to the entire institution, I guess, is like two people, like somebody didn't get booked and then they called them a name and then they posted that text message that they said and then it's like a huge like, oh, I didn't know you didn't like so and so, and it's like this is fucking you're just fucking dumb and you're kids and this is show business, you idiots.
Hey, here's the question. Facebook, what's the proper way to use it? Like as far as posting things, what's the proper things to post?
Just like I think like entertaining shit that you found on the internet, a funny original thought if you have it, or at least an attempt at one, and then like promotions of other shit, just promoting because it's like an advertising. It's just an advertising vehicle.
Yeah, I think you just said the three things that you should basically do.
Yeah.
It's not like people still. The embarrassing stuff is when people post their personal feelings or like their inner monologues. or passive aggressive shit that's directed at somebody, but they won't name them. And you're like,
can't
that's not what this is for.
I can't believe what happened this morning.
Yeah, and they wait for people. Today made me sad. Why? 12 people ask.
That's like somebody taking out a billboard and just writing, today made me sad, and then signing their name at the bottom of it.
Yeah.
That's the same. That's exactly the same thing now, because it's an advertising vehicle.
I can't believe what happened to me today. What happened to you? What happened to you? What happened to you?
I don't want to say. I don't like the drama.
Yeah.
And shut up and log off.
Or I like when they start talking to their significant other who's clearly on the couch next to them.
Yeah, it's always...
Do you think God ever looks at the internet and just thinks, I fucked up with mankind?
Yeah.
Like, he just sees the comments all over all these internet comments. You see Facebook, you're like, I made a fucked up creature. I'm gonna redo the world, and this time pigs are gonna run shit.
I just like the idea of God logging on to the internet, because he's probably the oldest person in the world, right? So he's probably like, how do I get this www working?
He's still got dial-up through AOL because he doesn't know you can connect otherwise.
He's faxing shit to Comcast, trying to like get his information right to get the internet online. I don't think God goes on the internet. I don't think he can make it work yet.
I put in the correct password. I clearly didn't forget. I'm flawless. I'm God.
I don't know what the IP address is. I don't know. I wrote everything in stone. Why can't we go back to that?
honey. Okay, some guy on there, he wrote that some quote from Justin Bieber. He got like 38,000 likes. You know what I did? I created the world in 6 days. I got 3 likes. And then one person took their like back. What the hell?
God created Justin Bieber, though, so he should at least be semi-proud / disappointed.
I'd say the dumbest thing I think I saw recently was that the most recent shooting did not happen.
Isn't that? But wait, you see that all the time, though.
I do see that all the time.
I'll be right back, guys.
All right, I saw that for the one that was live on TV.
Yeah, you talked about this on the show, right? Though.
Yeah.
I'll
you know what? I'll just go on right now. I'll just go through my timeline. I'll find something right now.
Why don't you read the next question instead, actually?
Everyone
knows there's dumb shit on Facebook. Why don't you read the next question?
Every day is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
We have a lot of Facebook questions also. Just read another question.
This is from... Oh, we got another Lorenzo email.
Is Dustin back?
I'm back.
I had to push the introvert out of my room. You're out of here now. No, not get out of my refrigerator. Don't take my bologna sandwich.
Lorenzo writes, it's good to have you guys back. What are your thoughts on the following 2 must-have items that everyone's buying these days? GoPro cameras and Fitbit electronic wristbands. They used to be niche products for extreme athletes or performance athletes, and now everyone has one. My mother-in-law just bought a GoPro, no idea what for. She doesn't do any extreme sports. In fact, she doesn't do any sports. The fact she bought it herself and wasn't given it has me puzzled. And every person wearing a Fitbit that I see isn't exactly fit, to put it nicely. These people are not downloading their sleeping data and poring over the stats. The only winners are the companies making them. What do you think?
When we bought our mattress, for whatever reason, our mattress came with a Fitbit. I'm not really understanding the promotion, but we have a Fitbit that's still in its wrapping, plastic wrapping. We haven't known what to do with it.
What does it do? Does it track your calories or something?
It tracks your steps, and you can like compete with your friends who takes more steps that last week.
That's hilarious.
And like you get a certain amount. Like I took 2,000 steps this week, so I'm on my right diet. I mean, I guess it can get you like it can help it may motivate you on a workout routine. So you're taking enough steps each day if you have a step goal.
I think if you have like diabetes, maybe, or something like that, where they're like, you gotta use your legs, or they're gonna fall off.
Guys, I was gonna go for a walk, but my wristband won't tell me how much because I forgot it at home, so I can't walk today.
You know, here at Fitbit Inc., I think guys we're making mistakes just marketing this just to diabetics. We might want to expand our market of people we're marketing. How about every lazy asshole that owns a TV?
I think we're taking the right steps, guys. GoPros are pretty dope though, like as far as just for filming stuff, like not just X Games or whatever, but like if you're into film, which I'm starting to get into. Like, I bet having one of those would be
So what a
pretty useful to
GoPro
have.
camera?
What is like
that?
a helmet-mounted thing that you put on? And it's kind of like looks where you're looking, and it's kind of like a first-person view.
So it's basically a camera you can mount basically and keep on so you can.
Well, they're also like super durable.
So that they can fall on the ground and they won't.
Yeah, they can
Just
fall from like
explode.
200 feet and just keep filming.
Okay,
Damn.
so like trying to take a selfie with your iPhone while surfing doesn't work that well.
Probably not. No.
Does anybody who has an iPhone not have their screen shattered?
I have never met a single person who doesn't have a shattered iPhone screen.
Yeah,
I
seriously.
have an iPhone.
Well, I've had mine since the summer, and mine's not shattered yet.
Well,
Go me.
don't drop
Ta-da!
it for more than 2 feet.
It never gets old.
So the GoPro. I don't have a reason to like wear the GoPro. It's not like Mark. That video of you riding the train to work was awesome. Glad you got a GoPro. But what would you use the GoPro for? That video of you chasing around your toddler was awesome. Glad you have a GoPro.
I would do it if I could make it invisible while I did stand up. That might be interesting to like see the audience again. But like, you
Or
could
maybe
just
that-
film
maybe
the
that-
set.
Couldn't that be a part of your bit that you're just wearing a GoPro? You could have a whole bit around the fact I just wear a GoPro because it's just awesome. You guys,
That would
I can
be-
see-
That would be a
I-
character that I have to maintain for 10 minutes and they would get bored of it. I'm pretty sure they would just hate me by the end of it. And then I got a nice recording of people hating me. That'd be nice.
Maybe one of those things where they hate you and then you do it so long that it turns back around again.
I could see that maybe working. But it's definitely not worth just putting it on there in the first place. I mean, just for the guise. It's a guise of a character so that you can get audience footage. When you can... The part about filming your set is just throwing the camera at you and not the audience because you want to pay attention to your movement. You don't give a fuck. I mean, if they're laughing, that's about it. That's all you care about.
Could you during your stand up you go like, hey, I was given the advice that I move around a little too much on stage, so I'm gonna wear a Fitbit on the show. While I'm doing my stand up, I want to make sure I take as few steps as possible. That's my Fitbit. I'm going the anti, just to not move bit.
I could see that being a better character than the GoPro guy. Because the
Could
Fitbit
the GoPro
dude,
guy and the Fitbit guy join together and perform in Vegas?
yeah. Why not? Sure.
Worst routine ever in America's Got Talent.
Oh God. I haven't thought about those awful hacky reality shows in probably a few months. America's Got Dancing and The Next Talented Dancer or whatever they are. Now that's what I call America's Dancer.
Are those the real names of shows?
I'm confusing them and jumbling them up. Doesn't it sound like that's real shows?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Would you what's the dancing one called? Dancing with the Stars?
Dancing with the Stars, yeah.
Okay, so here's my version. Dancing with the Cripples. Famous person dances with a cripple, and the hilarity ensues.
Shouldn't they have to put stars in quotes?
Right.
Yeah, they kind of have to. I like that cripple idea, except like there's one person who's already crippled, and then they make the star dance with like somebody in a wheelchair, and then they're like, "Do you like your partner?" And they'll be like, "Oh, I love me, so inspirational." And then they break her legs, and then they have to wheelchair dance together. They punish them.
So your show involves like hurting people.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be painful, but they will not be able to use their legs. So I guess there's a certain element of pain mentally to that. I guess, yeah. To answer your question, Mark, yes, hurting people.
Okay. Neighbor girl from Full House. You like Dancing with a Cripple? We're gonna break your legs because this show is made in Russia.
Kimmy Gibbler.
Is that her name?
That is her name. Kimmy Gibbler.
Not in
Kimmy
real life
Gibbler.
though. That's her TV name.
Right.
Wow.
Nobody cares about her real life name.
It'd be funny if her real life name was Kimmy Gibbler. They were like, we think this character is so important. We'll just go by your regular name. Who gives a shit?
Although the Full House sequel starts this year.
Why
No
are
way.
people excited for that?
I don't know. It's a terrible, terrible show.
It was already shitty to begin with in the night. Like, I don't know. It was like really feel goody. So maybe there was that. but like nobody had careers after that show except for the Olsen twins. We all know how that turned out.
So my understanding is Netflix, when they put out shows, and they don't, not everything's a hit they put out, but they really mine the data they have for people, what people stream, what people like, and they've looked through all these millions and millions of things that people have watched, and they have determined people like nostalgia shit so much they're going to redo Full House.
Yeah, but that doesn't work because you don't have the same nostalgia factor for the new shit that you put out. They like watching old Full House because it's old.
Like they're going to get huge downloads for the first episode. Everyone's going to be like, oh, yeah, this sucks. And then that'll be it.
This sucks now. It was fun when I was a kid because it was like that after school shit. And it also brings me back to when I didn't have to fucking pay bills.
Well, I'm going to
watch it.
I was also 6 and everything is awesome at 6.
Yeah, everything's great. If I watch VR Troopers now, I'd be like, this is the fucking most boring crap I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You remember the show The Facts of Life, which was also a terrible show from when we were kids?
Yeah.
I watched an episode in the last couple of years, some point like pretty recently. I watched an episode, and it was so poorly written. You really thought the script was like a contest between third graders. It was something like, oh, don't tell them I have a problem with something. Oh, you did. You're mean. Oh, okay, we're sorry. That's like the whole show. And it was so poorly written, and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe where TV has come. Because even no one would you couldn't put this on the air now, but apparently in the mid 1980s, they expected very little. The audience, they're like, oh, the audience, they'll watch whatever the fuck we have on there. It's 5 channels. They'll go with it.
Yeah.
God damn it. I remember like the old I was watching TV Funhouse. Do you guys ever see that?
I never really liked that show.
You mean
That
from Saturday Night Live?
No.
They had skits on SNL from like the cartoon portion of it, but it was like the Robert Smigel thing with like all the animals that came together. Like it was absolutely no one would put that on TV today.
It was just him talking very slow in a room full of animals. It was like a really weird. I don't even know.
It was bizarre. Some of the bits were really good, but it was mostly it was a few good bits with in a swamp of bizarreness.
Isn't that what most Saturday Night Live episodes were, even in the heyday? Like a few good bits and then a bunch of bizarre and not funny things?
I think in the heyday there was more like good bits in it.
I think even in the heyday,
SNL now is like one good joke and then a whole bunch of really cringy, awful, repetitive garbage.
I think in the heyday it was still like 50-50 though.
You think so?
I think so.
I don't remember. Like I tend to remember stuff better than it is.
Yeah.
I actually remember because usually the end of the show was the worst. They like save the worst bits, and there was one episode I remember where the last bit was just like some crazy guy showing, like, you know, like they had mount a moose on the wall or deer, and he was just showing another deer head, and each deer head was a little bit smaller than the one before. And then they at the end of it, they're like, this has been a crazy man, showing his increasingly small deer head, like just calling out exactly what it was. And at the end, you were like, oh, that actually is pretty funny. It was just a terribly bad skit that it was funny because they called out how dumb it was.
Yeah, but
I guess you could say, you describing that to me sounds awful.
Yeah, and knowing SNL, that was like a 7-minute skit too.
Yeah, they're always like, all the skits are 8 minutes past funny.
I just hate like a skit that's one joke that they just keep repeating and pounding it into the ground.
That's
why and then bring that skit back like 12 more times. Get up.
That's why I liked Mad TV better, because if their joke was done in 2 minutes, then the skit would end. But SNL seems like every skit has to be 7 minutes, no matter what.
You just gotta like pound it into people like, this is the joke. Here's the joke again.
Yeah.
It's like you fucking, I know, say it, do a different thing.
You get it. So he licks people. Everyone he meets, he licks.
There's always a weird guy who licks the people. Hey, what's going on, kid? And there's like his friend comes up and the lick guy licks him, and whoa, like, yeah, I've seen that before. You just showed that to me. It's not, a guy licking somebody is not different conceptually.
Jim Brewer is a goat. He's going to be a goat for 12 more bits. It's going to be funny because he's a goddamn goat.
You know how the guy
and that chick want to have sex and they want to talk about it and just eons. You're going to hear about that.
Chris Kattan looks like a monkey.
With their hands, they do weird cheerleader stuff. Okay.
Guys, Chris Kattan looks a little like a monkey. He's going to eat a banana for 17 straight bits.
I always thought that bit was pretty daring, to be honest, because I feel like when he was doing the bit, you're like saying, "Someone come here, murder me," and you keep putting it out there, and you're like, "I'm going to survive because I'm going to do this bit, and no one's going to murder me this week."
It's daring because it's so terrible.
Yeah, it's like really just reaching out to the home audience and going like, "Hey guys, get your gun, come down to 30 Rock, you take me out, or I'm going to do this again next week."
I just think that they've accepted that SNL doesn't cater to a critically thinking audience. They're like, it's like any late night show format where it's like you get a desk and a band and a guy who talks about current events and like
Jimmy Fallon. Like, who is lip sync battles for? I feel like it's on too late for little kids, and I don't think any sane adult wants to watch a lip sync battle. Like, who is that for?
I don't, because it's like that's their version of like LOL random, but like it's really, really like comfortable. I think all of those late night formats now are like America's scared and they just need to be comfortable. It's like the Price is Right is making people feel okay during the day because it's there, and it's like if Price is Right goes off the air, maybe it's all gonna collapse, guys. Maybe our society is gonna fall the fuck down. So we need tonight before you go to bed. We know that we got Jimmy Fallon, and for a while we knew that we had Letterman and Leno and SNL on Saturday to just keep us company, so that we don't start actually thinking about the shit we're in. I just feel like that's kind of what it is.
Hey guys,
or at least
hey guys, I think Jay Leno's going to interview James Franco tonight. Do you think he's going to ask James Franco about how he does his hair? God, I got to watch.
I gotta watch it. It's gonna make me at least feel comfortable.
Okay, Jay, what's the next question?
We're just getting now. We're getting like really conspiratorial.
Yeah, this is going too much. Jay, what's the next question?
We're on
this
to.
Is why we gotta get on a late night format. This is.
we also have a top 5 we may or may not do at this point.
Yeah.
We're on to Facebook questions.
Okay.
Drake better than Jay. Thoughts?
So Dustin, if you don't know this, he's probably the number 1 fan out there for Drake. He started a fan club for Astoria, and he has meetings every once a month.
I fucking hate Drake so much. I literally thought Drake was a prank for about 2 years.
Actually, you know,
I don't think I can pick out a Drake song, to be honest with you. I'm so ambivalent.
2 things.
I saw an internet video of him like dancing really weird, and it was all right.
Jay, could you play a Drake song?
No.
And secondly, the sociopath Jay was talking about that gave him anal sex was Drake. That's why.
How much coffee? These are from Steven. How much coffee do you guys drink? It's not.
So Steven posted a picture of a dildo and goes and links it to Mike. He tags me on it, and I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you, Steven? I deleted it.
He tagged you.
He tagged me on it.
Like, but goes, in the shaft,
Mark's dildo. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you?
How much coffee do you guys drink? It's not even 12:30 p.m. and I'm on my second XL.
I drink a shitload of coffee.
How much do you actually drink?
I want to say on average per day, 24 ounces.
I would have say 2 cups, but I'm glad you put it in an ounce form.
Because
it's an 8 ounces.
A coffee machine at work, and it's the only thing that makes me not want to kill everyone in the office.
I can't have more than 2 cups or two servings. I can have like 12 ounces or 14 ounces. I just can't do it more than twice a day, because when I have the third time, I go from feeling like awake to feeling like just like a walking zombie.
I feel like, I like it when I'm like mostly rested, and then the first cup gets me like all the way to like awake, and then the second cup gets me to like vibrating at the same pulse as like time itself, and then I'm unstoppable for about an hour.
I always kind of want that cocaine kick from the coffee. I never get it. For me,
you're never gonna match that.
No, you always kind of want that, but I got to the point also that if I don't have a cup of coffee by 8:30, my brain starts like turning off. My brain starts hurting, basically. I start getting a headache, and I'm like, this can't be good, but I need my caffeine.
I'll tell you this. I went without caffeine last Saturday, like the whole day, and then I ended up going to sleep at like midnight because I was like, I feel tired, and then I just slept till like 1. Like there was no caffeine in my system, and I just stayed offline.
I was drinking a lot, and then when my anxiety got bad, I stopped drinking caffeine. And the first 3 days, I felt like I was going through like heroin withdrawal. Like I had headaches, and I was passing out in the middle of the afternoon.
Yeah, it's bad.
It was really bad. It was like 3 days of hell before it got out of my system.
I had earlier this week, my daughter had a cold and she was up for like most of the night. It was pretty bad. And basically, instead of sleeping, I had just 2 naps before I had to go to work. And I was so dead. And like I drank like a huge thing of coffee, and like an hour later, I was like, well, either I just go to sleep at my desk or just drink another huge cup of coffee. And I drank a lot of coffee that day.
I remember I stayed up. I took a test like in college where I stayed up the entire night before, drank coffee throughout the test, and it was like a take-home test. So I had like 24 hours, and I drank an entire 2-liter of Diet Coke that night, and I think I fucking took like 4 years off my life by doing that. Like I think I actually just soaked my liver in Diet Coke.
So here's something that I was doing for a little while that was a bad idea. I would take a Vivarin right before I was going to go out for the night, so I could like drink more and be more awake instead of like.
Is that like one of those anti-sleeping pills?
Yeah, Vivarin's a caffeine pill. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would take a caffeine pill and then go out drinking, and I was doing it for a little while, and then my stomach would start to really hurt, and then I had to stop doing that.
It's probably because you had like so much booze. You're just a bag of booze at some point.
Yeah, well, you could drink a lot more because your body is not reacting the way it's supposed to. And then you get, and also I think the just taking the too much caffeine at like midnight really would hurt my body.
Yeah, I remember one time my friend's like, take this, it's modafinil. I don't know if you ever heard that. It's like an anti-sleeping, stay awake thing. But it's for people with like, it's not caffeine. It's like for insomnia, like or not insomnia, for narcolepsy.
Mm-hmm.
It's for the thing that like it actually is like a chemical stimulant. And I was going to a Halloween party, and I stayed up and drank so much that I woke up the next day on a hardwood floor that was like sticky, like from people spilling drinks. Like I crashed that bad, like I was just stuck to the floor, just covered in like dirt and sticky booze.
Yeah, I miss when my body was indestructible. In college, I had a radio show from midnight till 6 in the morning. And then I had a 9 a.m. class, and I would get 2 hours sleep, wake up, I'd go to the store and get a Jolt Cola, and just start drinking Jolt Cola at like 8:30 in the morning, and then go to class.
Damn.
Yeah,
I can't do that anymore. I need like, honestly, I could use 10 hours of sleep a night, but I never get it.
Yeah, same here. Okay, next question: is Jay still reading X-Men comics? Yes, I am. Is Mark's son?
That was a fascinating question and answer session there. I want to tune into Jay Leno tonight. Jay Leno's going to have Jay on, and I wonder if he's going to ask Jay about X-Men comic reading.
Well, every time I say anything more than 1 sentence about X-Men, Mark starts getting cranky. So,
Dustin, do you like people who read X-Men comics?
I have a lot of friends who read comics, not as much as I used to, but I never got into them. But some of my friends would. Here's what pisses me off when I'm a third wheel of 2 comic book friends, and now I'm just sitting there and they're talking about like X-Men or some shit, and I'm like, I don't need to be here for this. That's what pisses me off.
Along the line of comics, do you think you should be able to say I read a book and I read? Shouldn't there be a different word for comics? Like a different word to like say like I read a book too, and it was a comic book. I skimmed.
You mean like a graphic novel, like something like that?
No, I mean the word reading is kind of like strong for that.
Oh, reading and I don't know.
Not that you go like. Do you really read like? I looked at a bunch of
give
pictures
it all
and there
away
were
when
words
you say
too.
Comic books. When you say comic books, I think you played your hand right there.
Well, I mean, it depends what you're reading. There's some that have, that are pretty in depth and have a lot of reading involved. It's not like every comic.
I love the silence after the.
Well, I mean, it's not like every book is like a like a '60s Batman where there's just a picture of him punching a guy and it says "kapow." Like
that's what I picture
a hard word.
I picture for all Jay's reading is like, this page said kabooey. Oh, ho, 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 ho.
Hey, don't make fun. I lost a spelling bee to kapow.
It's just like 20 pages of just grunts and noises and sound effects.
For 20, yeah.
I feel like that's what most people think comics are.
I know.
Good job, Wolverine. The end.
They're just glorified Dr. Seuss books. Who gives a shit, man?
Oh,
See
the places you will
Wolverine run.
go for X-Men.
Stephen writes,
It's so easy to shit on comic books, and it shouldn't be because they are more complex, but I think
they're complex enough to make billions of dollars in the movies.
Yeah. And here's the thing, everybody likes comics now because they like they like the Avengers, they like everything that came off of those Marvel movies and like the new Batmans. Everybody loved them.
And
you
the
won't
movies
find
are
somebody who doesn't.
The movies are actually dumbed down from the comics too.
Yeah, they're even more digestible, and yet you can still be made fun of by the mainstream for liking fucking comic books, which is what everybody likes now because of those movies.
Oh, you read Dostoevsky. I read the Avengers. Guess what turned into a $1 billion movie? Dostoevsky crap, whatever you read.
I like to see Christopher Nolan take on Dostoevsky, like Crime and Punishment.
Yeah.
Try to make it dark and like fucking
Michael
digestible.
Bay takes on Pride and Prejudice. Is Mark's son still suicidal? I think we covered that. That's yes, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Guns N' Roses, this is from John. Guns N' Roses reuniting, good thing?
Normally for shit like that, I would say no. But Axl Rose has been Axl Rose for the past 20 years since the 90s, so like it's gonna be Fat Axl again, and then Slash is backing him up. So fuck yeah, I want to see Axl Rose set out instead of, you know how they used to like drink Jack Daniels on stage, like Slash, like a famous story is like Slash was in the middle of a guitar solo and he had a cigarette and he was drinking Jack Daniels, and then like he threw up like behind his amp and then came back from throwing up and he still had the cigarette in his mouth lit. I just want like a box of donuts in front of Axl Rose and he just finishes that whole shit off by the end of the set.
I think this is going to be terrible. I've seen clips,
Oh, it's absolutely going to be terrible.
I've seen clips recently of Axl Rose like literally getting out of breath in the middle of the song and like just huffing and puffing and like
you can't get to the end of the line "Welcome to the jungle" in "Welcome to the Jungle" without gasping
right
for dear life.
Yeah, this is going to be real bad.
Awesome.
Not to mention
and
that
he takes himself so seriously too. That's what makes it so great.
And they all hate each other still. I mean, it is just going to be a train wreck. Plus, they're charging $200. Fuck them.
Oh, that's the tickets?
Yeah. I can't.
I wouldn't see it then. I wouldn't see it for $200.
No.
I'd definitely drop like.
I dropped 60.
Yeah, I'd probably do that. The thing is, like, it's a disaster, but then you're like, now I'm locked into a 2-hour disaster. Or a 3-hour disaster, and you're like, the novelty of it wears off pretty quick. I'll just see a fucking bootleg online and see how it goes. But I bet it's gonna be Fat Axl again, huffing and puffing, and then Slash looking more and more like a dark wizard with a top hat.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. Have you watched the new Star Wars film yet?
I haven't. I should have by now, but I haven't.
I watched it last night.
I'm getting more and more spoiled. Like, I'm going to know the whole film by the time I see it because everybody keeps spoiling shit left and right.
I couldn't take not going on the internet anymore, because I know there's spoilers, like, everywhere.
Yeah. I know, like, all right, somebody's a traitor, and there's a hot chick who can maybe use the Force. I guess I don't know that much about it. I'm still kind of in the dark.
It's the same movie as Episode 4.
It is.
The same plot. Yeah, just with new people in the thing. It's the same movie. Did
Mark leave without telling us again?
I haven't said anything. You know, I got an email.
Yeah, I was checking to see if you were still there too.
No, I'm still here. I know I speak every 12 seconds. Normally, I got an email. A nanny app that we put up with ads. Getting a nanny. Go back to my nanny thing because more interesting to me than Star Wars. Where the woman said she has a bachelor's of science in accounting. Is one of her things she mentioned for qualifications to be a nanny. She also talks about a bunch of children thing. But Jay, you're getting your master's in accounting. Do you worry that this person has a bachelor's in accounting and she's asking to be our nanny?
If I'm nannying a year from now, please just shoot me in the head.
Well, you're getting your MBA with accounting, yeah. Maybe they'll make you an extra good nanny.
So you don't like Star Wars either?
I don't dislike Star Wars. I'm just not that into it. You
know what, Mark? I hate nannies, so fuck you.
Yeah, you should. Yeah. Well, if I can get a fucking nanny, I could watch Star Wars. I just thought it was a weird thing to put on there that she's a Bachelor of Science in Accounting.
Like, that is a little weird.
I'm like, what's she going to teach? Well, also, it's a weird career path that she's like, I got a degree in accounting. I went on one accounting interview and it said, I'm going to work with kids. I don't know. Yeah, Star Wars, I saw when I was a kid. I guess I should see them again. Maybe I'll watch them when my kids are older. But I never was that into that's that.
What is your favorite?
The original trilogy is a classic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely...
Yeah, the original trilogy is awesome. I would say...
Everyone loves them, so I'm sure they're good. You know, actually, I didn't even remember. I thought the third one was where Darth Vader... The whole "You're my father" thing. I didn't realize that was the second one.
Oh yeah, that's the big twist.
That's how I thought. I didn't realize that. I thought it was the third one. That's how much I don't know the Star Wars.
Episodes 3 through 7 are good. I will not acknowledge 1 and 2.
You like episode 3?
I kind of like episode 3.
Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, I have some issues with it, but I thought it was decent.
It's definitely the best of the first 3 episodes.
I mean, I didn't like how we went from like I'm a good guy to murdering Jedi babies in the course of one scene.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen him torn for a little bit, but and that guy was a shitty actor, but there was some good action scenes and stuff.
The writing is very stilted. I don't know, I don't know how good of an actor he is with that shit. Where he's like, "If you're not with me, you're my enemy," and it's like, what? Who says that? Are you a human being?
Yeah,
you sound like a fucking robot.
I'll see Star Wars.
What is your favorite sports film? Teen
Maybe
Wolf?
Rudy.
Teen Wolf.
Rudy?
No, Rudy or actually Rocky. It's my favorite.
Oh, Rocky 4.
Rocky's a good. Yeah, boxing is a sport.
Which Rocky though? There's.
I'm gonna say Mighty Ducks.
One is actually a really good movie. So one is actually one of my all-time favorite movies.
I would go.
I'm not going the comedy route here with that Dustin is by saying Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks is kind of awesome. I haven't seen it for a while, but I will say that it is inspiring, and it definitely shows you the value of a ringer.
Mine's Rocky 4.
It would break you.
That was a great movie.
Rocky 4 is dope.
Rudy's a great movie also, though.
Yeah, but Rocky 4 has the better soundtrack.
You know what? I'm gonna switch my answer to Remember the Titans. Take a little racial angle.
That's really good. Did you ever see the basketball version of that?
No.
It's called, I think, like Glory Road, which sounds like it should be gay porn. But it's like it's about this guy who's a college basketball coach. And they're like trying. He's at some smaller, I think it's like Texas Southern, some smaller college that can't get recruits. And he's like, "Wait, all those guys that are black, they seem like they'd be really good at playing basketball." And everyone's like, "Oh, you don't recruit those guys." He's like, "Maybe I'll recruit them," and he wins the national title. It's just 1 year, he goes against Kentucky, whose coach is like a out and out racist, and beats them, and is like, "Why didn't I think of that?"
That's so hilarious. Like he's like the first guy to ever use black players in a basketball league, and he just fucking wipes the floor with everybody. That's got to be the fucking funniest thing I've ever seen. If I ever see that.
I think that's a true story. The Celtics were the first team to have an all-black lineup, and they won wasn't that the team that won 8 in a row in the 60s?
Yeah. This was college.
That sounds right. I don't know.
Same idea. It also, there's a part in the movie where he's like trying to teach them to play like they're white people. He's like dribble, pass, like all like the very like, and then they're like,
play like you're shorter. Play like
they're like, we want to like be looser. We want to dunk. And he's like, fine. He gives in. And they start winning.
we want to dunk.
It's a really good movie.
It's weird that's like the thing that unlocks their powers, that they're allowed to jump over people and dunk into the.
It is very funny. Like you're like, oh, you're letting them just play and like abuse their skills and they win. And it has a name of like you're like, honey, no, I actually just like basketball. I accidentally didn't get the gay porn we wanted.
Scott writes, what are your greatest individual sporting achievements?
Participation trophy in soccer.
I think I bowled like a 180.
Yeah. I won a Royal Rumble in WWE 2K16 for PlayStation 4.
There you
I
go.
made it to like the semifinals in a racquetball tournament once.
Yeah.
In 10th grade, I was the last
I know
one.
what racquetball is.
Are you? Are anyone out there listening shocked? We're not like, oh, the Heisman Trophy.
Right. That's in.
Well, that must have been the third time I won the national championship in high school.
You know, I don't know. Let me just go through my trophy case real quick.
Well, it was when I beat the Russian Bear in Greco-Roman wrestling.
NASCAR champion. Well, 2 years. That's not an actual thing. NASCAR champion? That's not a real title.
Is it really not a real title? Or are you?
I don't think it's a real title, actually. I just threw that out there, but I was like, it's probably like
It's as real to me as that's
specific.
It's as real to me as that fake author you made up earlier.
Oh, Navorsky, or I don't even know what I made up anymore.
Yeah, I think you were saying like
Navrosky.
I think you were trying to say one of the third member of Nirvana. No one remembers his name.
You could probably just name like
Chris Novoselic.
yes,
Yeah, something like that.
His first name is Christ. Like it's Christ, but like oh man, what a.
Oh,
what
is
a
it really? I always thought it was Chris.
I thought it was Christ. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong now.
No, you could very well
making
right.
me doubt myself.
It's just one of those names that you would just automatically not pronounce the T because that would be stupid.
Yeah.
I just remember he was on an MTV Awards show and he threw his bass up in the air and he missed the catch and it bashed him in the face and like it was like bleeding all over the place. And he literally like crawled off the set.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was pretty.
That's fucking great.
It's in somewhere in YouTube. It's pretty great.
Chris, I'm going to either ask you about the T in your name or ask you about what it felt like to be in a band where the other two members of the band were insanely more talented than you. You know, one of them killed himself, so he's a legend, and the other guy went on to start another insanely popular band. Do you play music still?
You know what I would do if I was him? I would take every interview drunk and be like, "There had been nothing without me. There's no Nirvana without Chris Novoselic."
I can't even say my own name.
Listen. What's his name? I read all the lyrics, but it was my idea to call it Teen Spirit. I thought that made sense.
Everybody likes Curb Cobain. I'm the real champ.
Who do you think found the baby for the cover?
Everyone's against baby dicks. I was 100% for them.
Yeah, that's why we're big.
Give the public what they want.
Yeah. I was the guy that said, "Hey, Kurt, you should meet this friend of mine. She's in the band also."
Oh man, I wonder what he's up to nowadays. I haven't seen or heard of him in years.
I don't even know the correct pronunciation of his last name yet.
There was some.
I don't know either, really, but it's something close to
Novoselic.
Novoselic. That sounds right.
There was some documentary about how Courtney Love was actually the one who hired somebody to kill Kurt, and he made an appearance and like gave his 2 cents on that.
And what was his appearance?
That'd be funny if it was just like, yeah, he did it, and then it just cuts. It's just him for like a second.
It's just him holding a bloody knife, being like, "Yeah, she did it." Yeah, that must be kind of it also must be kind of weird. Like, what did he say in those 2 minutes? Just like, "Hey, guys, he's dead. Just let it go already."
I don't know. Like, it's either two things. Either you'll never let it go, or you have to accept that you got really, 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 really lucky by being the worst member of the biggest band in the world for about 3 years.
Yeah.
And hopefully you saved your money. Like, really, that's really what it comes down to.
Foo Fighters guy, what's his name again?
Dave Grohl.
Yeah, Grohl. Do you ever think he calls him Grohl? He's like, "Hey, Dave, hey, I know you're busy with Foo Fighters. Wouldn't it be cool if we did like a Nirvana tour without Kurt so I can make money again?"
I bet he's done that. I bet he's gotten in touch with the person who said he was going to get in touch with Dave Grohl, and they never talked about it.
Or
wouldn't
you be like, what? You know, I was in Nirvana. Why aren't I in Foo Fighters, asshole?
Because there's better bass players. You're just a fucking dude.
Yeah, pretty
He
much.
probably wasn't even that great. Nirvana's songs are that complicated.
I think he was in the band before Grohl, though.
Yeah, they kicked out their other drummer for being a flake, I think, and then they picked up Grohl for when they actually started recording stuff.
Listen, Grohl, you put me in Foo Fighters. I put you in Nirvana. You put me in Grohl. Kurt didn't want you. I said we should have you, and look what happened.
Oh, man. Can you imagine? I can imagine Foo Fighters with this guy, because, like, Foo Fighters isn't that complicated either.
No,
It's Nirvana Part 2.
They sound different enough, though.
They're like the most generic whitewashed rock you can get.
They're like Nickelback without the commerciality, like the corporate bullshit, man, overlaid on top of it.
They're
just basically like the crowd pleasing. Everybody, I think my friend told me this, and it like makes perfect sense. It's like somebody had to make regular old rock music, and they did.
They're like the Jimmy Fallon of rock music. They're just safe.
They're just there. They were there. Like somebody's got to play that role as like the rock band, and they like happen to be at the right place to do that.
I wonder if Jay Leno tonight will ask Chris Novoselic what he's been doing since Dave Grohl became a megastar.
So, Chris, what have you been up to recently? Hey, doing any projects? Well, I've been mostly just thinking about, how deeply I can cut into my wrist. Oh, this guy's so full of shit. He's a funny guy.
Does Dave Grohl ever call you?
Did you ever get in touch with Dave, huh? No, I never returns my calls. All right, we'll be back. This episode's brought to you by Hams.
When we come back from the commercial break, we have more questions for Kurt Novoselic about Dave Grohl. We're just going to ask you about Dave Grohl the whole time.
And then we'll find newspaper headlines where the headlines say something accidentally funny that we made up writing because no one's ever seen these in real life.
Clearly not Photoshop newspaper headlines.
Look, there's a Chinese restaurant called Fuck You. Ha ha. We'll be back with the same headline next week.
Just newspaper headlines, because no one's ever made a mistake except these guys.
It's wacky.
It's wacky.
What's the next question on Facebook?
No, I won Zog Sports Volleyball League. There you go.
I won Kickball League.
Gun control, thoughts?
I upped you.
I won my volleyball league twice, so I upped you.
I want everyone to have gun control except me. I don't know anything about this. I'm like the worst qualified person. I guess like control more guns because that people shoot at everyone. I can't articulate a good argument.
And now with the counterpoint, the man from the NRA.
I think the people who are stuck on everyone should have every sort of gun need to realize that when the law was made, they only had muskets.
I think
that makes sense.
And I am perfectly fine with everyone on the planet having a musket.
Here's what blows my mind about like Second Amendment freaks. It's like, all right, everybody should have, but like, what about if they came up with a gun where you would just think of somebody and pull the trigger and it would blow their head up?
It's my Second Amendment
is everyone supposed to have that?
It's my Second Amendment right, motherfucker.
Yeah, so the Onion kind of nailed this. I'm going to read the headline. Nation shudders to think of how mad NRA would be if Obama actually proposed meaningful gun control.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah,
that pretty much nailed it. I like he didn't really propose much of anything. If Obama actually got on TV and goes, "Hey guys, I'm going to take away everything but a shotgun. Everything but a handgun. I'm taking away. I'm really taking away your guns, like everyone's been predicting. I'm doing it." Do you think we just start a civil war immediately?
No, I don't think people would.
You think
people are too lazy to do that? Okay. There's a few people that would do that.
Yeah, we would have some rogue militias out in the woods that would go.
There's like the Oregon dudes who are already doing that anyway. So like, I don't know. Like, if you want to take away,
is it weird that they're occupying our government? And we're like, they'll leave eventually. They'll get bored and need beer. They'll give back.
I love how racial that got. All of a sudden, it was like, well, if they were black, they would send in they're in the middle of nowhere. If they would leave them alone if they were black too. They're in the middle of the woods.
They're true patriots.
There's true patriots.
Right.
Though if they were Muslim, it would immediately be ISIS invaded.
Yeah.
There's no way to spin anything involving anybody who's crazy, whether like it's a militia group in Oregon or like a ISIS dude in California, to make it seem like any of this makes sense policy-wise. Like, why are we basing what we're doing off of the actions of crazy people? That doesn't.
the gun control stuff is weird because it's always like Obama's like, okay, we're gonna do some more checks to make sure we like the people that get guns aren't criminals, and everyone's like, how dare you?
Yeah.
Our Second Amendment says criminals are allowed guns. It does not say anything about criminals not getting guns in the Second Amendment.
I don't know. I think it's all about how you read it, and they can just reread it a different way.
Well, the first couple words is in a well-regulated militia. They totally ignore all that too.
There could be like what they say is like, we could be the militia if we needed to be, and it's like the government has tanks. Like you're not gonna be able to.
Well, they have drones.
They have drones. They have anything that they could whoop your ass if you
go
have
outside
a Glock.
with your gun, and they would just drone your ass. Game over.
Well, should do. I think the counter. They should just do a whole ad campaign being like Uzis for toddlers, and just have like a lot of things like little toddlers getting semi-automatic machine guns, and that will be like the starting point for our argument that like, hey, you probably want some gun control.
Sure. Scott,
Dude,
right.
I actually thought that was going to go the other way. I thought the NRA was going to be like, yeah, let's give them to them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you start them off early, they're a customer for life.
Yeah. And they know how to treat it. You see, the reason why people get shot is because kids don't know what to do with them.
If every kid had their own gun, you would have less school shootings by psychos and more by annoyed, bullied kids.
I think the thing that's really so difficult about this is not like how you make the policy, because you could say like no one should have guns, or like we shouldn't have like a certain type of gun or whatever. But like even if you said that, like even if Obama's like, we gotta really crack down on guns, blah blah blah, and like really got strict about it, there's like a fuckload of guns already out there. There's so many. Like they're all over Chicago and wherever else the people got them from in San Bernardino County. So it's like, what are we going to do with the guns that people already have if we're going to crack down on it? Like we don't background check those people.
So the answer to your question, Brinkastani is going to do nothing about gun control.
We're going to do we're fucking dumb. We don't know what to do. I don't want to speak for my guys over here. I'm fucking dumb.
Yeah, I'm going to say we should regulate guns more. And I think there was a guy shooting in D.C. who had complained to the cops previously that his microwave was being mean to him. I think you complain about your microwave talking mean to you, you get your gun taken away. That would be where I'd start my starting
enough
point.
to shoot your microwave, and then they take it away.
If your microwave and you are not on good speaking terms, you lose your gun.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, we have to start. I think we have to make like small steps. Small
steps. All right, crazy microwave dudes, no guns.
Yeah,
but more microwaves for them.
Yeah. You could stick your hand in a microwave. That'd be great.
Are you guys still there?
Yeah, are you still there?
Do another question, Jay. You got to move it forward.
Okay. What is the biggest movie that was ruined for you by spoilers?
Harry Potter. I remember somebody was like, Snape kills Dumbledore. Somebody just yelled that one time.
Fuck, I was going to watch that tomorrow. Thank you.
Somebody posted a spoiler for the new Star Wars movie in like a political article. Which really pissed me off.
My sister had once. This was not my spoiler as much as my own fault. She came back. She's like, oh, I saw this great movie. You should really see it. And I'm like, I'm not going to see it. So yeah, but you really should see it. Just tell me what happened in the movie. Okay, I'm never going to see this movie. Oh well. Anyway, he like at the end of the movie, you find out he sees dead people, and like Bruce Willis is really dead. Oh, okay. I'm not going to see that movie. And then it turned out that was really popular, and then I had to go. I had to see it at that point.
When I was in like 6th grade, my buddy spoiled Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, and I was so pissed off.
He spoiled it by making you go?
He told me they killed Shredder. I was like flipping out.
Really? You were flipping out over that?
Yeah, I was like fucking 11.
You didn't see that shit go coming?
That's like if all the movies I used to watch when I was in grade school are like unspoilable, like the original Batmans, like Batman and Robin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, what are they gonna say? Like, oh, they do catch the Riddler. It's like I was expecting that. I don't think that they like if there was a movie where the Riddler kills Batman, then they said that's a real spoiler.
I'm not gonna ruin this for you, but Godzilla doesn't win.
Exactly. Like at some point, there's movies where it's like you know what's gonna happen. James Bond fucking solves the crime, whatever he does.
I'm not gonna ruin this for you, but Sherlock is smarter than everyone else.
Would you prefer to do your current job for $500,000 yearly, or be granted $40,000 yearly for nothing?
I'm gonna go $500,000.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 40,000.
Really?
Wait, 500,000?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said 50,000 versus 40,000.
No,
No, 500K. That's way too. I could buy a whole fucking Staten Island ferry.
You can work
for doing that.
You can work for 1 year and then do nothing for a decade and have the same amount of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, for $500,000.
That's way too of an unbalanced. Like, would you rather?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how your version of it was like, for 40 grand for free, extra 10 grand, you work 40-hour weeks for the rest of your life.
Yeah. So like, let's say you could do. You make 5,000 less than you do now, or like you make 10 grand less than you do now, but you don't do anything, but you make 10 grand more if you work.
Okay, that's a better number, better ratio. 500 grand, your job. 100 grand, do nothing. I think that's a better ratio.
Still do the job. I'm used to doing that, and that's $400,000 more.
Yeah.
100 grand for doing nothing. Here's the question. That just means you don't do your current job. Can you get a different job? Can you get the 100 grand and then do something else and add on to your day?
I would think so.
Still moonlight as a comic and make $6 a night? That'd be, wow. I don't know.
You could do a comic thing and have to worry about a day job.
Andrew writes.
Yeah.
Andrew writes.
But it wouldn't boost me like that much at this point.
Okay, how's this?
Basically getting all the stuff I want.
Yeah, 500 grand, do nothing. $10 million for your current job.
Still $10 million. It's still so disproportional. So you're like 500 grand or 20 times that amount.
You're living a pretty good life at 500 grand for doing
nothing. You're living a great life if you just work for 1 fucking year, you lazy son of a bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's just say you can't do the 1 year thing. You have to either just do it forever or
you have to keep working. You have to keep 500 grand and you don't do anything. Or you have to keep working till retirement, but you always make $10 million a year. What would you do?
Yes, that is the.
How long can you not work for 500 grand though? It's only maybe a year. You get a year off.
You get 500 grand a year.
I would still just do 500 grand a year then.
Yeah, I would do 500 grand over 10 million if it was just like a.
You do nothing and you just get that.
Yeah, that sounds like a better deal to me.
It's all my dreams come true. Plus, you get 8 or plus hours a day to do whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, 500,000's more than enough, and then you don't have to do anything.
And you could just calculate how much money's rolling in, and you're jerking off. It must be like you're paid thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I mean, I love doing nothing, so I would do that.
Sleeping till I wake up. That's amazing.
Oh my god, that would be a dream.
Andrew writes, do you guys have any tattoos?
I've got one. I got a guitar pick on my left arm. I don't think I can pull it out.
I have a flower right above my butt.
I am a complete pussy and I have nothing.
I have nothing, yeah.
If you didn't live in New York, whereabouts would you live?
You know what? Nebraska.
I would want somewhere in the middle of nowhere. I'm so sick of the fucking getting stuck on the subways and dealing with, tourists and bums and like
Costa Rica.
I would also want somewhere that has actual seasons because here it's basically too hot until it's too cold.
Why would you want I want like San Diego, something where the weather's beautiful always.
Okay, yeah, or something.
Yeah, I would do like Miami.
Miami
gets too hot.
Yeah, that's way too hot.
Something, dude. Like I lived in Wisconsin for 18 of my years in my life. I don't want to go back to winter like that.
What about like somewhere in the middle, like North Carolina?
I was thinking L.A., but like L.A. is like New York and drag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do San Diego or Costa Rica.
Okay. Have you ever thought of going or have gone to San Diego Comic-Con?
I don't do Comic-Con. I'm not that big into it.
I feel like
Jay, you be the one here that would want to go to this.
Right back.
I feel like it would be too crowded. Like I went to the New York one 2 years ago, and it was just it's way too crowded. I don't know. What is your favorite Star Wars character and favorite Star Wars quote? I would say Han Solo. I don't think I have a very favorite quote. Mark's not going to jump in on that one. If Drake offered to be the ambassador of this show for free, would you take up the offer?
If Drake offered to be the ambassador
of the show for free, would you take up the offer?
That's not. I mean, yes, I would do that for you guys. I'm not like that's a question for Jay. Obviously.
I mean, I hate him, but I would do it because it would bring like millions of people to the podcast.
What's the question?
If Drake offered to be the ambassador of the show for free, would you take up the offer?
Yeah, absolutely. Why would you not? Why would you even hesitate?
Yeah, no, I would.
I would
Jay,
even do it. If I were you, I'd even do it for like Paris Hilton.
Oh yeah,
somebody who's like completely washed up.
I would do it for anybody who's more famous than us.
Yeah.
Jay, Drake was willing to push our show and get it really famous. Would you blow him?
No.
What if he wasn't willing to do that? Would you still blow him?
Oh yeah, definitely.
What if you can get 40 grand for doing nothing for life? You just have to blow Drake once a year.
What if you didn't have to work, but you had to blow Drake for $500,000 while he blows your dad? But your dad is looking you right in the eye and giving you a thumbs up. Would you do that?
No, I would not.
What if Drake was wearing a Break of Insanity t-shirt?
Can we move on?
No.
Okay.
All right.
You have to give Drake a hand job. There's no more. I have no question.
What if you got caught for an egregious crime and you could go to jail or blow Drake in front of everyone, but Drake is telling everyone, like, listen to the Break of Sanity podcast. And
What
or
if
go to
Drake
jail.
would like us on Facebook.
Leave us an iTunes review.
Okay, next question, Jay.
Ralph writes, "Where's my taco?" We're still working out the
I'm
logistics.
not mad at the taco store.
Yeah, we will be mailing tacos at some point because that's how you promote a show. And Ralph, next time on the show, next time we do a show for the questions, please give your full name and address and checking account information, and we'll make sure the taco comes to you.
And your social security number. Don't forget that.
We need that. That's vital.
That's vital. We're just mailing you a taco. We just need those things for mailing.
Steven writes, "Would you rather taste vomit for the rest of your life, or would you rather smell shit for the rest of your life?"
I thought he was going to say, would you rather taste vomit for the rest of your life or answer this question?
I thought he was like, would you rather taste vomit for the rest of your life or taste Drake's dick in your mouth for the rest of your life? I would taste vomit.
I want to go with Dustin's version of the question. Jay?
Steven writes, "Where's Rosero? Sure seems like he left."
I don't know where Rosero is. Rosero, if you're gone, come back.
Come back.
Of course, you will not hear this if you're already gone. So our ability to communicate with Rosero is not very effective on the show if he's no longer listening. How do we solve this paradox, Steven?
We're done.
Would you blow Drake to have Rosero come back?
Should we do our top 5 things our dad said, or should we just end the show?
What are you guys feeling?
I don't have anything for that. I mean, he told me one time he believed in ghosts, which was really weird. It didn't drive me crazy, but it stuck with me for a long time. Because that just seems like he sounded like a crazy person, and he never struck me as a crazy person.
Oh, you raised me to adulthood, and you believe in make-believe. Wonderful.
Yeah, and why would you stop at that? You could do, The Hobbit. You could have hobbits or wizards or whatever. I don't know. It was weird. He sat me down for it.
He sat you down for it?
He's like, I got to tell you something.
Last time you sat me down, you talked about the birds and the bees, and now you're talking about goblins. Great.
Yeah.
Son, I just saw this awesome documentary called The Babadook.
I saw one where a lost spirit actually helped a woman craft an urn.
What's a Babadook?
It's a horror movie that came out last year.
Oh.
It's pretty good. You should watch it.
Okay. I will watch it after Star Wars later tonight. Uh, that must have been what. So he shot you down. What did you think he was sitting you down for?
I thought he was gonna talk. I thought he was gonna talk to me about like family shit, where he's like, we're getting older, so you gotta start learning about how we manage our affairs. But like, because my dad's like older dude, but like, I'm the youngest.
Instead, he was like, "Son, we're getting older now."
Which is even worse because he's like in his 50s and he's like, I believe in ghosts.
Would it have been better if he was like, "Son, we're getting older and we'll soon be ghosts." I want you to be prepared for that.
So I don't want you using the vacuum cleaner too bad because I've seen Casper and you really get sucked in there. It's bad.
The documentary called Ghostbusters really, we don't want that to happen to us. Just remember, we're not haunting you. We just say, ooh, a lot.
And I really hope that, I turn out to be just a regular white sheet ghost and not Slimer.
Dude, like, it would be funny if it was like also at the end of a more like a conversation about your finances. And so, son, that's how you should, you should get a 401k. You should manage it and diversify your account and more index funds. Also, I believe in Casper and
son, you find yourself a nice woman to settle down with. You'll know when it happens. It'll be true. You'll feel it. I've got a lot of wisdom built up. I've been around the block. I've lived many years. Believe in ghosts. Wow. Where the fuck did that come from, Dad?
Son, you also want to be careful when you buy a car. You want to make sure they don't fool you with any like rust proofing or silly things like that. You really want to bargain them down. And also, when you get the car, beware of werewolves.
Oh yeah, make sure it's ghost-proof car, werewolf-proof car, but don't buy any of that silly other shit.
It just kind of really makes you really question the everything you learned at that point.
Yeah, after that I was like, how much of this has been complete horseshit?
Maybe you believe in the dumbest shit ever and you don't even realize.
At some point I'm going to say something that I truly believe in and someone's going to call me on it and be like, it's like, yeah, you can definitely pour milk in before your cereal. It's not, you won't die.
Like,
it'll be something like that.
Dad.
Dustin, you're storing a lot of peanut butter. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get to that amount where you can do flotation.
Yeah, I'm just I eat a lot of popcorn because it's good for my bones and it makes me immune to birds. What? All right. Thanks, Dad.
Way to fuck me, Dad. I know you're standing there because you're a ghost because you believe in them. God damn it.
He never, what's the other thing? He never told me like whether or not he believed in God, but he believes in God. He believes in the lower shit. He's like, I don't know about that. So I don't know about like the Bible or whatever. That seems like a lot of hokey shit to me, but fucking Ghostbusters seem more and more real to me every day.
These crazy religious fanatics, they interpret it like Islam or Christianity or Judaism too extreme, and like everyone knows this stuff is all made up by mankind. But anyway, when you're driving, beware of trolls. They live on the bridges, sometimes they attack.
God damn it. It's just so weird.
Just the weirdest stuff people do.
It's just a weird thing to hear at 19 years old. It's just a fucked up thing.
Yeah, you're going off to college. It's a very important time, but I know you want to party, but you should take your studies seriously because this is how you enter adulthood and get a big career, and it's very important. And by the way, if you ever flush a baby alligator down the toilet, it'll become gigantic and invade the city.
Statue of Liberty can walk under certain conditions. Play the right songs. She's walking around. Just saying, son, she can.
And son, a well-dressed man always has a little handkerchief outside their suit, and you always want to wear something that's very tailored. Also, beware of Mothra.
Yeah, beware. Also, Thundercats Ho and Mumra he'll haunt you, buddy.
Okay, so we may have ripped on Netflix for redoing doing Full House, calling it Fuller House. If they came back with a newer version of Thundercats, would you be excited?
I would be pissed because like part of the allure of Thundercats to me was how like crazy 80s it was.
Mm-hmm. I would check it out at least. I would be interested.
I'd rather them reboot.
Oh, I'd definitely check it out.
Jay, what do you want to reboot?
I'd rather see a reboot of He-Man.
He-Man's so fucking weird.
Yeah, it's like one of the
so
weirdest things
weird.
on.
Have you ever like sat down and thought about He-Man? Like it doesn't.
None of it
like,
makes any sense.
None of it makes. He's a boy, and they can't tell he's the same. He looks exactly the same when he transforms to a bigger boy, I guess.
The toys were even more insane. Ram
I just don't understand where they came from. She-Ra versus She-Woman. I know they had to have a meeting about that, and they were like, "Well, She-Woman's just too stupid." He-Man, that's good, but She-Woman, that's idiotic. The kids will never go for it.
Oh damn! She-Ra was the name of a metal band back in the '80s. It was all women.
You know what's
The
weird?
only
Also,
reason I know that is because I watched Netflix. There's a Netflix special. This is way out of.
Sure.
Sorry, it's a tangent. But like, this is a Netflix. I don't know if it's a special, whatever. It's like a Netflix thing you can watch. I think it's on Netflix. It's called Heavy Metal Thunder and Mud. It's directed by the same director as Wayne's World. That lady who did that other thing like that. Anyway, she directed Wayne's World and like the decline of Western civilization, right? She also did Heavy Metal Thunder and Mud, which is chicks mud wrestling and these fucking B-level heavy metal bands playing. It's really one of the most fucked up, crazy things I've ever seen. If you guys are into watching bad, weird, dated shit, it's really amusing. I don't know. I recommend it. That's my recommendation. I'm glad I took us on this trip, guys.
okay, so later on tonight, I'm watching Star Wars, some horror movie from last year. I can't remember the name of it already. Thundercats, and something I'm going to search Netflix for, something that's not a show, but about mud wrestling.
It's Heavy Metal Thunder and Mud. Look it up. Tell your viewers about it. It's crazy. And it's mud wrestling.
And it's the Babadook.
It's the
Babadook. So Babadook's the one about the. Okay. I don't even know what I want to say with this. The top 5 list was supposed to be about shit our dad says that's crazy. My dad was trying to explain to me the other day. He's like, I saw this movie, son, that you should see. It was with Meryl Streep. She was in a band. It's like the movie's like Shawshank, kind of like Ghost. She's a prisoner. It's like Shawshank. It's just like I don't understand. She's in a band. No, it's like Shawshank. You know, I don't want to tell you too much about the movie. I don't want to ruin it. You haven't told me anything about the movie. It's like Shawshank. My dad says every movie's like Shawshank. It's just like it's first comparison for every goddamn movie. It's just like Shawshank, and that's now Ghost. I guess the new one he throws in, but he'll just be like, "Yeah, I saw this movie. There was a guy. He was running a restaurant, and it's just like Shawshank." How?
You know, it's like 60% Shawshank, 40% Ghost, a little bit more Shawshanky.
Shawshank meets Ghost.
You know,
Meryl Streep in a band.
What is it? Star Wars. Like Shawshank.
The new Star Wars it's like Shawshank.
It's like Shawshank. Hateful Eight.
My dad would be the greatest reviewer ever. The new Alvin Chipmunks movie. I'm like, it's very cute. It's just like Shawshank.
Yeah.
Jay, what's one of your top 5?
So it's when he's trying to tell me about a movie, he'll be like, "Oh, it's got that actor in it. Which actor? It's Frank Sylvester." And I'm like, "I've never heard of that actor in my life." And it'll be like, "Yeah, he played the superheroes all in green, the Green Lantern." He's like, "Yeah, Frank Sylvester." I'm like, Ryan Reynolds? Oh, yeah, Ryan Reynolds. It's like not even close. He'll tell me like an actor's name that's like so far away from the real actor's name. I never know what he's talking about. And he does that all the time.
The thing that drove me nuts also, this is just coming to mind, was my dad would watch the Blue Collar Comedy Tour and not only tell me that they were geniuses, but recite their jokes, like Larry the Cable Guy's jokes to me. And I knew deep down in my heart that was maybe the most terrible thing anyone's ever done to me.
Larry the Cable Guy is not even what he's like. He made up that persona because he
just made up a character, and he's capitalizing on like the dumb racism of America, I suppose.
Yeah.
So what was a better moment with your dad when he was reciting Larry the Cable Guy's routine or telling you he believed in hobgoblins?
One time he combined the two, and it was the greatest thing ever. He told me about the ghost of Larry the Cable Guy future visiting him.
He said never feed him after midnight or get him wet.
You need an accent that appeared that it goes like the audience laughs and the ghosts in the room also laugh. You need to hit everyone. You need to cross the spiritual world humor.
It's ridiculous. I don't know. Larry the Cable Guy is whatever, but the fact is Larry the Cable Guy is fine as long as you're allowed to ignore him. And then it's you have somebody who's like your parent just telling you about how great he is, and you can feel your brain just kind of microwaving itself.
That Keanu Reeves is an amazing actor, son. Also, I know you're trying to get into acting. You should try to be more like Keanu Reeves. He's an amazing actor.
God damn it.
My dad used to always talk about the Brady Bunch and say the dad in that show must have been a drug dealer. That's the only way they could afford the place they had. I'm like, it's just TV. Why?
It's a fictional.
It's a fictional. He's like, they never show them working on the show.
That's how he breaks it down. That's fucking hilarious.
He's like, they never show the dad working. I'm like, because it wouldn't be much of a TV show.
Yeah, do you want to watch that?
He's drawing up architectural plans. That would be an awful show.
My dad wouldn't watch How I Met Your Mother because he thought it was too unrealistic that they went to happy hour every day. Because he thought nobody could afford to do that.
You're like, it's unrealistic. It's on TV. That's the entire purpose of it.
Oh, I'm also they have one beer. I'm pretty sure these people can afford $4 a day.
Oh, so you were basically arguing with your dad that the TV show was really realistic?
Yeah, it's why is that so far-fetched?
The dad on the show, on the Brady Bunch, I saw him do a little bit of architectural work, and he must have been a very successful one where he didn't have to work very much and got paid boatloads of money for his architectural things.
My dad always mixes up the thing that plays media and the actual media. So he'll be like, "Yeah, we gotta rent a VCR today." You mean you're gonna rent a VHS tape? It's like, "Oh yeah." It just always mixes stuff
so
up
ridiculous.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put the boombox in the CD.
Yeah. It's just always everything's mixing up like that.
I think my dad would. I can't think specifically of what he would do, but he would do shit like that. And then, I remember one time, I was watching That 70s Show after school, and I don't even like That 70s Show that much, but it was on, and I was in school, so I watched it. And then they're in the basement, and they're being little shits, which obviously rubbed my dad the wrong way, because he's all of a sudden he's just scoffing at things that are supposed to be he's scoffing at the laugh tracks that they put in the show.
They are obnoxious with the laugh tracks in that show, though.
They are very obnoxious, but the thing he said finally is I won't just keep my door unlocked for all these stupid kids. You could just, all right, dude, fine. Well, this guy did, apparently. It's what he did, man.
My dad said...
I was locked my basement door up. All right, good.
So,
yeah, I'm sure you do it now.
My dad always does and I think probably a lot of them do this one, but he always does anytime going hey, drive carefully, son. Drive care. The one time you're going to forget, I'm going to ram the car into this, just in the other side of traffic just to fuck with you.
Well, you didn't tell me to drive carefully.
My dad won't listen to Van Halen because he thinks the background singer is annoying.
That's pretty
so specific.
It pisses me off. I'm like, they're so fucking good. I can't handle the high pitched background singer. I won't listen to the.
I can't even think about what he's talking about.
The background singer has a high pitched vocal.
Next time I listen to Van Halen, I'll probably hate it because your dad pointed it out.
I thought it was just David Lee Roth overdubbing himself.
No, it's Michael Anthony, the bass player. He does have a high pitched voice, but it's not that ruins the whole band.
Now it's going to ruin the band for me. Fuck. My dad also will do the same way with movies remind him of Shawshank. Everything. I have a stepbrother that lives in Seattle. Everything reminds him of Seattle. He's like, you're down Long Island. It's just like Seattle. Why White Plains and West. It's just like Seattle. I'm like,
which is just like Shawshank.
Yeah,
like she just has like 3 things he keeps going back to.
yeah, I'm like Seattle. It's like a city surrounded by mountains. There's literally no mountains around me for miles. That's cool. That's whatever. It's just like he has to like connect something though. He needs the connection. Your children, they're like Shawshank mixed with Seattle.
Yeah, it's like if you imagine, like my first daughter's kind of like 60% Shawshank, 20% Ghost, and a little bit of Seattle. Yeah.
He also did this this weekend. I was asking him something about his phone. I'm like, oh, do you ever listen to podcasts on your phone? Because he has like not an iPhone, but one of the other droids. And he's like, oh, like where do you get them? I'm like, well, you download them. And he's like, oh, I need to sign up for the internet. I haven't signed up for the internet on my phone yet. I was like, what the hell are you talking about?
Sign up for the internet.
I was like, you just connect to like you have like if you don't have
this
like
is why God can't get on the internet. It's because he didn't sign up.
I don't know my password for the internet. I wasn't really figuring out what he was talking about. I meant to try to set his phone up for I was like, oh, you can use our Wi-Fi when you get home, and then I never set him up. But so he's still not signed up for the internet.
All right.
It's almost like he was like doing some comedy bit that not telling me about it. I'm old and I have not signed up for the internet. How do you sign up for the internet?
Guys, let's never get old. Let's just stay young forever.
Sounds like a plan.
Let's just never get old.
My wife's name is also Liz. He's been calling her Lisa on text messages since I've been married for 6 years. I don't think he's used the word Liz in a text message ever.
Your dad is hilarious. As soon as I become a dad, I'm going to definitely mix that up.
He blames it on autocorrect on the stack. And he also spells my name wrong a lot of times. Like, so it's Mark, M-A-R-C. He'll play it with a K or something with a C-K. He always blames it on his phone. I'm like,
M-A-R-C-K-C-K-K-K-K-K-K-K.
I'm like
he just like way overdoes it.
The phone's not autocorrecting my name and not my wife's name to a whole different name.
Hey, it's Lisa and Mark.
My dad has very simple solutions to all my problems. Like when I was having crippling anxiety, he was like, why don't you just calm down?
You know what's something that my dad says that really drives me crazy? It's time to go over the relatives for Christmas. Hate when he says that. No, but like
all right, we have to see our dead relatives because they're still alive because they're ghosts. We gotta do
we just take a trip to the graveyard.
This is your great-great-great-grand-grandfather, Tedinsky Myvadal, whatever they were called back then. He'll tell you about the Civil War.
My dad would similar to what Jay was saying, like I remember one time I had a really, really hard test in college. It was basically it was 100% of my grade. I was freaking out about it, and it was the final. I stayed up all night studying. I stayed up till like 2 a.m. studying, and then I tried to go to bed, but I couldn't. And then I called him at 6 a.m. Like I don't think I can. I don't know. I don't think I can do this. Like I was like having a kind of a breakdown, and all he could say was just like, "You'll do it. I'm busy," and then he just hangs up on me. Like he was just like, "You'll do it." Like he's just, and I was like, and I had to like take a walk around the block like 3 times to just kind of put my head back together. But I mean, I guess he turned out to be right because I did do it. But like, that's not how you help somebody going through that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it'll work out.
No, here's my advice.
My house is on fire.
You'll do it.
Houses will get on fire. It'll be fine.
Come on, that happens.
My kids are in there right now. Could you just come help me get them out of the fire? Kids will be kids.
They'll bounce off. Come on, man. You're being a pussy, Mark.
My dad will do the same thing with generic advice for like not generic advice, generic things about our kids. He'll be like, kids will be kids. They are good kids. They are nice. What the hell are you talking about?
Is that a book report written by a slow girl?
He'll just like randomly like, your son is handsome. Your daughter is attractive. The fuck are you talking about, Dad?
Mine always compares today's prices to prices in 1962. And it's like, yeah, I get it. Everything was a lot cheaper back. Our pizza was like a nickel for like 7 pies when I was in 1962. Yeah, I get it. I can't believe that a burger at McDonald's is $6. It's when I was a kid, it was a dime.
You think his dad was like, when I was a kid, you can get a pizza for like 2 chickens. Now you have to get.
It no longer wants to record.
Have we already been off the show, or?
Yeah, oh, it started again. It just stopped. Like
how much did we lose?
Like, we lost Tada and the old timey joke. That was it.
Oh man, that was the best thing I had.
That was the highlight.
You might as well
of the
just
entire
delete the whole show. We'll start again right now, Jeff.
Let's redo it.
Magic's over. It's gone.
Let's go. Okay, guys. So I have some nanny story to tell you. Let's start.
All right. Just lay it on me, man. I need to know about nannies.
Can you tell your nanny story in 20 minutes or more?
guys, it's okay. It's okay. This show is going to be devoted to stories about people's staff.
I only have 4 hours to listen to nannies, so you better start now because I got to get out of here.
Only the please just tell your favorite 4 hours of nanny stories this week.
Yeah, can you narrow it down, please?
Like the best.
Just when you fired her.
Yeah.
If we could keep going as much as possible talking about nannies, we'll relate to our target audience.
Nannies.
Nannycast, episode 1.
It turns out our target audience was my old nanny. She's like right there. She's like,
fuck this guy.
I kind of talk about things in the show, assuming no one will ever hear about it. It's like what I'm saying is locked into a vault that like no one can ever find unless they can figure out how to sign up for the internet.
Yeah, if God hears about this, he's gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
He's gonna be we've been shitting on him the whole time.
God
and our dads will never hear this. At least my dad. My dad's never gonna listen to this.
My dad listens to this podcast, so I'm gonna get an angry phone call next week.
I knew Jay. My dad has no idea I even do a podcast. I've told him I've done one. He has no idea.
I think mine forgot because about the podcast because he hasn't listened to it in like months.
My dad knows very little about my life, no matter what I tell him. Every time I talk to him, it's like you're starting over from scratch. He's like, "Oh, you live in Long Island for 5 months now. What the fuck?"
Oh, how old are you now, Mark? 27?
Oh,
what are you doing there?
Are you
Who's that little girl you keep hanging out with, you little creep?
I see you spell your name with a C and not a K. What kind of shit is that?
Yeah, who fucking named you that bullshit?
Okay, we're done.
Okay,
right?
we're done.
Right,
I actually, you know what I did? I have I made a couple notes for the show, and I might as well mention this because I'm going to forget. And not the way that I should end the show, but I was in the bathroom at work, wiping myself, and I feeling pain, and I basically injured myself wiping myself. And that's where I am at this point in my life. My body is breaking down. Everything hurts these days, and I had to stop wiping myself because my shoulder started hurting.
You pulled your shoulder wiping your ass?
I did. It was fine. It didn't hurt me later on that day. But for a
You
little
busted your
while,
asshole.
I was like, I now have to finish wiping myself, but my shoulder hurts. And I can't switch hands. So I have to figure out how to do this because that would have been a solution. But my shoulder was hurting, and I'm like, this is a low moment. Maybe not the lowest, but this is low.
Gotta take a break, dude. And that's a great place to end the podcast.
Yeah, I don't think we could top that. So
that was my answer for greatest sports achievement.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for joining us, Dustin. Pleasure
Absolutely, anytime.
And I guess we'll be back. We're going to try and do the show weekly from now on. So
says Jay.
We'll be back next week. Ta-da!
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 Bye, bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye. You better go away. I'm gonna leave.